Get 'em Jimmy, where low shack at. The bottles getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Feed the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, July 27th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We are all thinking of you, Puzzler and Tim Steves, sending you as much positivity and love and want to get you both home as soon as possible. Also, it is JPZ's birthday. You just heard the smooth bars of JPZ in our intro song here. Also does the intro song for the Daily Sesh, the best new show in the whole industry. And want to give him a big shout out. Those of you low baggers in San Diego, that's where the man will be partying this weekend. So shout out to JPZ. Happy birthday, JPZ. Our guy. It's been a really nice second half to the season. Continued our positive run. 4-1 yesterday, plus 3 units. Cubs first 5 minus a half. Very easy casher. Cash 3 runs in the first inning. Sit back, relax, and count the cash. Blue Jays -1 was very easy. Also, it was very good that we didn't take the first 5. You know, when they're missing Arenado and Goldschmidt, why bother cutting it down to 5 innings? Let's beat them in 9 innings. It was very good. Marlins team total under 4.5. Pistol Pete Loshak. Mwah! It's a thing of fucking beauty. The breakdown all made sense. It all just made sense. And it cashed very easily. Atlanta, Philadelphia, no run first inning, -130 was a loser. A heavily juiced loser. But we cashed the Guardians at +130 to take care of the juice of the loss. And fucking glory. But not nearly as much glory as our special guest on today's show, who's also the producer of today's show, who just crossed the 30-unit threshold in Major League Baseball with a big sample size of work. He's been excellent this year, and he's been so good. We don't have the opportunity to hear him break down afternoon baseball on Say Hey Plays of the Day. So the last few Wednesdays, we've been bringing him on to cap the card, the games that he won't be able to cap the card on his own show. So why don't we bring him on and get this show rolling? The host of Say Hey Plays, now up 30 units on the year. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the show.
Hi, Dad. You got some sleep last night. Seems like you're revitalized. You're feeling fresh.
We're having real sleep problems with Carter. No, this is just what winning does. This is all fucking winning. This is all profits. This is all fatter pockets smiling and feeling good. Congratulations on your enormous successes. Up plus 30 units.
This is what happens when I get suspended from betting the Red Sox. It makes a whole lot of sense.
It's working. It's all working. Shout out to all the cappers joining us here. We got Viper NB says, "What up, fam? White Sox saved my day. Went 3-2. Any day in the black is a good day." Armchair MMA up 4.4 units. I thought we did a really nice job breaking down the card yesterday. And I was in touch with Jose last night. I said on the show, I was like, if I was a better capper, I would bet the Angels here. And that really kind of stuck with me. I've got to start understanding when the books are going to make a ton of money off the public and those spots. And remember, TJ was tracking those spots because I could understand anybody who watched Zerpa shut down the Blue Jays and his 22-year-old fireballer lefty would want to back him against Suarez, who has an ERA, what was it, 6.56? But it was clear with all of 90% of the tickets on the Royals and the line not moving at all. The books just sitting there with open arms, laughing, taking this Royals action that the move should have been.
Same thing happened with the A's and the Astros last night. Shout out to Alex Pavone, who Yeah, I was
Oh,
talking
nice.
to I was talking to Pavi last night. Whenever the Blue Jays start doing well, Pavi starts texting me, which no surprise there. But shout out to Pavi. He was like, he told me basically that I should be on the A's, that all the money was on the Astros, it wasn't moving. I was like, man, I don't know. And then we talked about different ways of capping too, which is interesting. Like he only looks at the lines and money and all that stuff.
That's it, yeah.
I try to look at the lines and all that stuff at the very end as least as possible. I try, for example, like I look at the lines like maybe like 10, 15 minutes before the show. And then obviously when I make the graphics, but if I could just go into the shows blind without knowing the lines, I would do that. But yeah.
That's been working for you, and everybody has their own process. But I'm with you. I imagine, guess what I think the line would be, then I take a look at it. But I also, it really helps me. Like I don't want to get in early unless there's sort of slam dunk spots. But even those slam dunk spots, I wanted to wait till yesterday morning before the show to bet, and those were the Cubs first 5 -0.5 and the Blue Jays -1. I really want to know what sort of indication the market's giving us, and it's been very, very helpful. So and I love we'll keep breaking all of this down, as it's very, very it helps. Mr. Vape says, Jose, you ride Washington yesterday, 2-unit plus night, but Dodgers would have made it 5 units.
Yeah, I took them first 5. I didn't take them full game, and this just gives me shades and memories of the Pirates series all over again. I got crushed first 5 by them. That was a really disappointing loss. Josiah Gray immediately giving up a home run in that inning. But it didn't damper a 3-1 night. We could still take that and roll home with it. Especially because that was a plus money spot, plus 160. We almost went at home with it, so we're rolling.
There were no -300s to fade as of late last night, but there are now.
There are now, and that's the game I feel like I'm fucking taking crazy pills on. That line was ridiculous. There's been a couple lines today that I've been like, what are we doing?
Has Wainwright ever been this big of a dog?
Probably not. I could actually look that up, and I will look that up. Thank you to these betting databases that people are spotting up with. But yeah, I'll look that up right now and find that out for you.
Yeah, God, so much to talk about. Afternoon baseball. This is really fun. It's going to be a fun day. Anybody joining us or listening to us right now from work, I hope you have a very profitable day while you're making money at your job. I love the double dipping. Jedi for Life in house. Jedi for Life also hit his high watermark of the season yesterday. Absolutely great job. Jedi G Martinez ready to go. J Dub in the house. Said not a great day, but today we bounce back. Let's get that bounce back for you. R. says Phillies hurt my soul yesterday. They do a lot of that. They're a franchise that does a lot of soul destroying to their fans. AJ had his most profitable day all month, up 11 units. Shout out to Jose for the Nats money line. Even though you only took him first 5, at least you get people on the right track. There's Johnny Guns. Say what, my man?
I was going to say that's what it is. Shout out to Johnny Guns, by the way. Johnny Guns, semi-famous. He's a good guy. Shout out to Johnny Guns.
Yeah, man. I don't know the that side of the story. I'll be very interested.
I know how you are, Jimmy. I know exactly how you are. By the way, I have an answer to your question. The last time, and I'll say this, he's never been a plus 200 dog. So we'll start there. But the last time he was a plus 165 dog, which was the highest underdog he's ever been, was June 1st, 2007.
Wow.
You want to guess who the pitcher that he was going against that day was? Houston
sure.
Astros.
Houston Astros, 2007 Houston Astros.
He would go on to pitch for the Phillies in an electric trio with a murderous name.
What the hell's wrong with me? 2007 Astros.
I believe he's a lefty. I don't remember that off the top of my head, though, but that shouldn't help much.
All right. I'm not.
Lee Harvey Oswald. Roy Oswald.
Yeah, he wasn't a lefty.
No, there you go.
But wow, good call. Oswald, wow.
But plus 165, the highest underdog he's ever been.
I love that. That's I couldn't believe the number when I saw it, because
yeah, it was very funny.
When I first looked, it was -250, and then it even moved to -260. I'm like, that's just wild. Jay Peasy celebrating his birthday, getting in that work. He'll be in San Diego this weekend. There's our guy, Elio Topset in the house. What a great capper he is. Bruce Shad says the great Coors bailout win again last night. That was beautiful. I remember you mentioned that in the chat. We got a two-teamer here. There's Roger that in the house. Two-teamer from Sammy Calmer. Malmo Moneyline and Olympiacos to qualify. There we
Good
go.
pronunciation.
Thank you. There's not Flush Allen in the house. Rocco Rogers. Nice to have him in the chat more and more often. Serious business. There's our guy, Matty Ice, says, thanks for all the birthday wishes yesterday. Richly deserved, my man. You're a beloved in the community. Beloved. Filthy Sticks says, great day yesterday. Yeah, it was. It was it was a great day. All right. Taint play today is in. Let me copy and paste this Taint play of the day. I should have murderous last name. I wish if I had an hour with that. I wonder if I could have pulled it out.
I'm pretty good at trivia, so that's just a part of me.
I once was, but
I carry Helga and her friends in bar trivia every Tuesday-ish, so this is what I do.
San Diego, Detroit, full game under 7.5, and that one pops off in just under 2 hours. The Taint play of the day, coming out off an easy winner. Padres first 5 minus half. Is Adam Fitzgerald ready to go? Vipe ready to go. There's our guy, Big Show Picks. A lot of love being given to our guy, JP. There's MT13. Slatsy says 2-0. Had Chase minus 1.5. And thanks to Jimmy and Pete for getting me on the Cubs. First 5. We talk it out for winners. We do. And I saw that you also gave love here, saying great breakdown on the Red Sox Guardians, Jose. Because during that breakdown, Slatsy said this is the longest we've ever taken breaking down a game. And a baseball game, and it probably was, but it cashed me a plus 130 winner on $150. So I was
they're fucking bunch of shit bums over there right now. You know what pisses me off about that too, Jimmy? It's the fucking 1 year. I couldn't have gone last year. The fucking year that I decided to drop a bag, go to fucking Boston, get an expensive ass hotel, get all these fucking plane tickets to go watch this shit bum squad. And now I'm gonna go watch them in a couple of weeks in Houston and maybe see them all get traded in front of my eyes. So who knows?
The spreadsheet play of the day is in as well. Spreadsheet play of the day is the Cincinnati Reds.
Los Rojos.
Cincinnati Reds for our guy Ron Crawford. Oh, that's a late game. Is that a late game? Why is that? I feel like yes, it is 6:40 p.m. There. That was a great breakdown of the Marlins game as well. Pete was on one. It was just a very, very impressive work. So Tori Coker ready to go. All right, let's go. By the way, we were trying to promote our show yesterday, and I gave. I was thinking of old TV shows, so I sent Jose a picture of All in the Family and Edith or Ethel. Is it Ethel and Archie? Is it Edith, right? Edith and Archie Bunker. And I asked Jose to put together a little promo with that, and it didn't work out.
No, it worked out.
No, I think it was a touch too man-lovey.
If I would have deleted the other hand on you, would that have made you feel better? Just one hand?
I couldn't put it. We couldn't promote it with that. We couldn't do it. It was just a touch too much man love. So we went over to I Love Lucy.
Yeah, sure.
We got the I Love Lucy. We went with the I Love Lucy. And even that, there was a touch of man love. Maybe I should stop looking at the old TV shows for promotion.
I think this looks good. I think this looks good.
If we put that out, I don't know what I was thinking. If we had put that out on social media, we would have been destroyed. There would have just been about 50 comments making fun of us here. And Von Post is just waiting for the trip. Rob Free says no. Stanton killed those Yankees yesterday.
Hate to see it.
Josiah Gray got his K-pop easy. Yeah, that was a great bet. There is our guy Ick Schnizzle says going to Rage Against the Machine tonight. It's a bucket list type of show for me. I can't fucking wait. I'll be going live on Twitter at some point, partying downtown. I love it. Ick Schnizzle with a big night ahead. Well, let's get to and Joe Yurkovich says love the Reds tonight. This is a golden spot. So you have Joe Yurkovich loving spreadsheets action here.
Love that.
Okay, so Nasty Nate took a big shit yesterday. Said he didn't flush it just so he remembers the losses.
I do the same thing about what
Sure.
I eat. Whenever I go to Helga's house, I take a shit there and then I leave the shit. So so they know that I'm eating good.
Oh, that's well done.
Yeah.
That's well done. All right, it is time to get to work now. Flashan says Giants looking good. Yes, the season win total under looking very, very good. Also, the White Sox quietly just 3 games back, so I'm not feeling so terrible about all that.
Are you going to rebet that?
No.
Okay.
No. They no. I just even with my Tampa Bay Lightning reward, I bet that at the wrong time. I think that when you bet something, I don't know, I'm not going to chase. I also, as I told you, I now have what 1150 on Blue Jays futures, which is a little more than I would prefer.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm on that bandwagon now, so it's tough. It's like I remember your whole thing in the beginning of the year was that you hope that they suck at the beginning of the year, you can get a better price on them. That's kind of what happened at the end of the first half. They fucking sucked. You got that better price, and yeah. Shout out to Mr. Palmer here, O'Brien.
He's right. Danny Lopez says Jose Stash doesn't help. Perfect Strangers. I thought about that yesterday. I thought about that. Yeah.
I'm very good at multitasking, guys. I'll make that shit right now. I don't know what Perfect Strangers is or what it looks like, but I'll look it up right now.
It was a great TV show series for us when we were younger. All right, let's get to work. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. We're coming off a very profitable day. Let's keep it rolling. And I have not bet anything on today's card. I dug deep on some of these breakdowns and was like, you know what? Let's just talk it out. Jose, my man, are you ready to get to work?
I am. Have not added anything, but I'll tell you, this is the first day in the last 3 or 4 days that I've had 7 plays already written down, looked at, ready to go. It's going to be fun. And like Dutch is saying, that's going to be a fucking electric show. Fucking Pistol Pete Loshak on the Daily Sesh. Boy, oh boy. I think that's going to be Pistol Pete Unleash. We've got him reined in a little bit here. We're going to see Pete pull up, tank top, wife beater in, black and mild in. Maybe he's got a little Dewey on. I can see it all from Pete. Who knows what he's going to wear?
He sent me some of the funniest text last night. And so I know he's I know it's because he knows he's doing this show. He's ramping up the humor. And
he's like, did I get that GDP last night? Pete, I learned about the GDP.
Okay, let's get to work. We start in an hour and 15 minutes. We got afternoon action all day long here. 12:35 p.m. Eastern, Atlanta Braves 59-40, 26-19 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies 50-47, 25-25 at home. Hard to believe when you thought about this Phillies lineup in the beginning of the year that they'd be sitting here 500 at home. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's begin with the weather. 85 Fahrenheit and very light winds. Opens at 3.1 miles per hour out to right center. Ends around 5.5, so it gets a little bit stronger, but very light winds. Nothing to worry about there. Let's move over to the line history in this one. Morton versus Gibson. There has been a 5-cent move to the Philadelphia Phillies. Opened up at plus 130, end up plus 125. This total opened up at 8.5 and is now at 9. It is juiced to the under. Let's move over to the cash flow and drum roll, please. 2 teams with full value, according to Sports Insights. Yesterday, the Cubs were full value and
classic
easy winner. And I hope Pete decided to move on them because, spreadsheet vouched for the Cubs as well, and Sports Insights did, and it was a very easy casher. And I know it's hard sometimes to take a bad team as a big favorite. 9,520 tickets in, and the Philadelphia Phillies have full line value in this matchup against Charlie Morton. I'll let you know that the Texas Rangers are the other team with full line value. There's only one other team with half line value, and that's the Colorado Rockies. So that is where we stand according to Sports Insights. 9,520 tickets in. 37% of the tickets, 41% of the cash on the Phillies. That all makes perfect sense. 5-cent move towards them. They have a little bit more of the bets, the bigger bets coming in on them. 74% of tickets on the over and 59% of cash. So that would tell me that there was a ton of bets coming in on the over. They moved it to 9. Once it moved to 9, there it looks like there's been some sharp action on the under. Schnizzle says Braves are 15 and 18 in day games and the least profitable with an average line of minus 161. That is I love that breakdown. That is a great. I love that stat. Sammy Comics says Phillies and Tigers are barking. Charlie Morton coming off an 8-1 win at home versus the Angels, but who cares what you do to the Angels? 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks, 3 walks. He's been a little worse on the road than he has been at home. 2-3, 4.59 ERA, 258 opponent's batting average. For the life of Kyle Gibson's career, I do not know and can't quite figure out when he's going to be lights out and when he's going to shit the bed. We knew in his last start at home to the Cubs that there was all this sharp money coming in on the Cubs. We talked about it. The market wasn't moving towards the Phillies. It was a very dangerous situation, sort of, that the market was implying. And of course, Kyle Gibson gets lit up and fucking smoked. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 15-2 loss at home. Now he's got another home start. 4.66 ERA, 248 opponents batting average. Splits are not important. Braves versus righties, 244, 745 OPS. Phillies versus righties, 241, 710 OPS. And Braves bullpen's been very good for quite some time now, and the Phillies bullpen has been much improved. Here we go. The man who has just crossed the plus 30 unit threshold in MLB. Game 1, afternoon action, less than an hour away. Take it away, Jose Bouquett, Braves, Phillies.
Well, all that you said was very comprehensive. I mean, I didn't have anything on this game. I think this series has been pretty tough, truthfully. I think obviously Kyle Gibson has the advantage here. Sports Insights, first of all, says that, and that's gospel. That's gospel. But I'll say that he's only pitched against the Braves once this year. It was okay. 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, a walk. But Morton's seen these guys now. Let's see. He's seen them, I think, 3 times now. I didn't write how many starts he had against them, but he has gone 10 innings, so probably 2 starts. 5.40 ERA, 6 earned runs, 9 Ks, 5 walks. Last year, he pitched against them a bunch, obviously, 2. He had a 2.19 ERA against them, but he gave up 12 runs, and 6 of them were earned. So I was like, okay, wait, well, that's a little weird. Maybe, faulty defense, whatever. But I probably would agree that Morton gets touched here. I didn't have enough confidence to back Gibson as well because I also am a guy that's like, I don't really know how to time Gibson. His last start, he got crushed against the Cubs, like you mentioned. Maybe he bounces back here. But this is just 2 good teams going at it, and I didn't really feel like I had a true advantage. Obviously, the Sports Insights thing would make you say Phillies, but that's the only thing I'd be basing it on here. So I didn't have them on my first cap, so I passed this game originally. But Jim, I'm glad, my favorite thing about you, Jim, is that you go on these long soliloquies. You break down the game so perfectly, and it gives me enough time to make things. And I think this is probably the funniest thing. This is the funniest graphic we've put together, especially because of what I have here. I didn't know what perfect stage.
Stop, please. Please don't let anybody get their hands on these graphics, man. Don't let anybody get their hands on these graphics. Fucking burn them. Okay.
So pass for me. There you go. Perfect
Right,
Strangers looks like a great movie.
It's not a movie. It was a TV series.
Looks like a great TV series.
Balky, right? Balky was the European.
They both look exactly the same.
Balky,
Canadian capper nose.
Balky. Okay. I hear what you're saying. Let's take a look at the lineups here. We have no Acuna. It's for the Braves. It's Harris, Swanson, Olsen, Riley, Rosario, Contreras, Ozuna, Cano. God, look at Cano bouncing around the league. Forward at DH. For the Phillies, Schwarber, Hoskins, Realmuto, Hall, Castellanos, Stott, Bohm, Gregorius, Herrera.
I think we could sell that poster, Jimmy. I really think we could.
No.
Rodney Barton needs one. In his bank.
He's not his man cave. No way.
We just changed that to Jimmy the
Please
the
don't.
closed eyes.
Where did you get the
Really?
closed eyes picture? Where did you find that?
Jimmy, I've got an archive of pictures of everyone, just everyone's heads just for these occasions. So just don't worry about it.
Look, this is just a situation where I do not feel comfortable predicting Kyle Gibson here. We're being told that by the market that he's going to have a good start here. If he's going to have a good start, do you trust Morton to have a good start? If you do, I mean, would a first 5 be something that would be a possibility here? The first 5 at 5, are they going to score 6 runs in the first 5 innings in an afternoon game on a travel day?
Doesn't seem like it, but I don't trust Charlie Morton. I think you and Pete infected me. I've been saying this. I was a big Charlie Morton guy. I love betting on him, especially in the playoffs. But that was up until this year. You guys kept saying that he had fucking Trumbulo and all these balloons, whatever, Andestina Strones, trying to keep his career going. And I think that might have infected me. So I will not be betting him until the playoffs.
Yeah, these early starts with these old guys. I don't want to be involved. What was the cash flow again on the total? So there are bigger bets coming in on the under. Now it's 26% of the tickets and 40% of the cash. I mean, I guess if you're saying, Mark Tequila says, I'm a Phillies fan. This team is completely incapable of scoring runs at the moment, regardless of who is pitching. Charlie Richards says Domi with breasts as a weather girl was pretty funny also.
That was very matter of fact, Charlie. I appreciate that.
I guess let me just take a look at Morton's splits here quickly. I mean, and what you gave us the breakdown of a Gibson. I think it was you Gibson batter versus pitcher. What's Morton's? Is it?
Well, the Braves I would say this whole year. Braves against righties, 105 weighted runs created plus. That's 10th this year. Phillies 17th, 97 weighted runs created plus. They're about the same. And I'll pull up baseball savant real quick. Phillies hitting 303 lifetime against Charlie Morton, but that has like everyone in this lineup. That has like for example, in Baseball Savant, they count Brad Hand, Zach Wheeler, Yairo Munoz, who is Yairo Munoz on the fucking Phillies now? He was a Red Sox legend. Shout out to him. But the guy like Didi Gregorius has seen him a bunch. He's hitting 256. JT Realmuto 320. Odubel Herrera is hitting 429 off him. Alec Boehm's hitting 467 off of him. Jesus, he's 7 for 15. No home runs and no power really. All just singles. I trust the Phillies offense here, shockingly enough. But like I said, I do not feel confident enough to back anything on this game confidently, so I just passed.
Yeah, if I had a free bet, I would take the first 5 under 5, but I don't want to put my own money on it. The total opened up at 8.5, very slightly juiced to the over, moved to 9. I guess I can understand why at that point there might be some sharp money on the under. Big shout out to our Big Show picks. The losing streak continues, but in a good way. Down to 340.3 pounds, down 59.7 pounds, hitting a crazy 6% last month. His goal is 265 pounds before he gets married. Man, impressive Big Show. It takes a ton of consistency and a ton of willpower and strength. So we wish you all the best on this journey, my man.
I have none of it, so thank you, or I should say thank you. Shout out to Big Show.
And sometimes you need extra things to sort of keep you accountable, extra things. So if you want to come here on the show and give us the tracker, if that might be something that will help inspire you to keep going, keep working on it, feel free to come on the show every day and just let us know where it's at. If it helps, if that's something that would help, we'd be happy to really, really support that.
I'll think of a graphic as well.
Try to keep it as heterosexual as possible.
You're lucky. I was looking at Brokeback Mountain posters, and none of them are facing forward enough for me to use.
Oh, I don't even want it. Let's not. Jeez. Okay. All right, we move on at 1:10 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres 55-44, 30-23 on the road at Detroit Tigers 39-59, 24-27 at home. Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. And we have arrived at sweet Taint. The Taint play of the day is right here, and it's on the under 7.5 at -115.
So big.
That's
That's what it says. It's so big.
oh, no, you guys, this is okay. Let's stay focused here. The images of Jose and I caressing on a picture are not helping us focus on the capping here. You Darvish going up against Tariq Skubal. This is going to be a fun situation here. Comerica Park.
Crazy. I thought this was the craziest line of the day so far, but it's already moved a little bit, so I'll say that.
Well, I want to hear you break down this very much. I find this one a fascinating situation. 75 Fahrenheit in Detroit, 8.6 miles per hour, right to left, but in. It becomes less in as the game goes on and starts becoming just right to left. But it's always going to be slightly in here. Let's go with the line history in this one. We have a 5-cent move to the Padres. A 5-cent move to the Padres. The total here opened up at 7.5 and dropped to 7. That 7 came at 8.12 this morning. So since it hit that number, it's only been taking money to the over. So it's moved up in 5-cent increments. The last one was 31 minutes ago. And so it's now -125 to the over 7, which means it could very likely hit 7.5 before we get to first pitch. We do have the lineups in for the Padres: Profar, Cronenworth, Machado, Voit, Nola, Kim, Grisham, Ruiz, and Batten. Not a strong lineup there. For Detroit, Green, Baez, Castro, Cabrera, Candelario, Haas, Grossman, Scope, and Reyes for these Tigers. It's a little chilly, I believe. Chilling? I think we're talking chilly. Joe Marinaccio saying, what is Cab smoking there? Is Dabby Cab in the house? We're all talking about how excited we are to see Pistol Pete Loshak on your show today. Darvish, 9-4, 3.28 ERA, 0.97 whip. It's great that Cab's here because I thought what Cab did last Friday in Darvish's last start was spectacular. He went right up against Max Scherzer. He took Darvish on the first 5 money line at +163, and he took Darvish on the first 5 plus a half, and even that I think was like a -105. He cashed them both very easily. Darvish is 4-3 with a 4.75 ERA, 257 opponent's batting average. So what was it that made Darvish pitch so well yesterday? And you could say, well, it's going up against Maximus Scherzer. And he goes 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 9 Ks, 1 walk. He's completely on in a sold-out environment against a Hall of Fame pitcher. Now he pitches at 1 o'clock in the afternoon at Detroit in front of 8,000 people, and nobody cares. I really wonder if this will change his start here. Let's just go over to the cash quickly, and then I'd like to start talking about Darvish before we even get into Tariq Skubal. But we have 7,666 tickets in. They give a slight line value. I mean, less than 10% on the Padres. 81% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on the Padres. 53% of tickets, 85% cash on the under, and yet it looks like it's going to move to 7.5. Dabby Cap says, I'm on Darvish first 5 again here. Obviously, I'm not worried about a letdown, but I get the angle. Says he is 10-2-2 for me when I bet him in the first 5 this year. Let's start with Darvish. What stat are you most focused on when you're looking at his expectations today?
Well, Jimmy, I'll keep this pretty short. I think Yu Darvish is a very good pitcher, and I think that Dabby Cab has infected me with this mindset. And I saw this line, like I said, I made the graphics around 8 in the morning this morning. So might be a little older, but is -130 this morning for me on Bovada. Now it is at a -142. And I thought I was fucking taking crazy pills when I saw -130. And I don't think in any universe, Yu Darvish should be that low of a favorite. to the worst hitting team against righties this year so far. 67 weighted runs created plus. Tariq Skubal, I'm not a Tariq Skubal guy. And neither are the Tigers, apparently, which is crazy to fucking see. And I just thought it was just nuts that you can get a plus money first 5 minus a half here. That would be my bet. I think Darvish does have a good start. I do not really think that the surroundings truly affect him that much. He's been in the majors so long that it's just like, who cares at this point for him? I don't really worry about that part of it, but it's mainly Darvish just being a lot better than what the Tigers have to offer here. And obviously the concern is, can the Padres score against Tariq Skubal? 17th against lefties, 104 weighted runs created plus is okay. When you read off that lineup, you said it wasn't a good lineup. I was like, okay, all right, I can work with that with the Padres. That's as good as it's going to get right now with no Tatis. So truthfully, I think this is a Padres all day. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this might be your public spot that gets crashed with money and then the Tigers win, just like yesterday with the A's and then what you said with the Angels. But I just thought inexplicably that I didn't understand what the line was at minus 130. I'm not moving on it personally because I have a thing with Dabby Cab where I can't bet Darvish first fives. I ruin it for him. If you'll remember, Jimmy, you were actually there when I bet on Verlander's first 5 and he gave up 2 home runs in the 5th inning back to back to fucking crush us. So ever since then, I have not bet any guy that Dabby Cab likes a lot, basically, and that guy has been Darvish. So it's Darvish for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, there will never be a situation when I see a market like this where I will back the team that has 94% of the cash. It's been a 5-cent move with 94% of the cash. We know that there's these, like MIT students type people putting together these models, and that's what the books are focusing on. We're basically going up against supercomputers. And the supercomputers are saying, we don't care that all the money is coming in on the San Diego Padres. And if I was Dabby Cab and I just made all this money off of Darvish, sure. I'm playing with the house's money. I'm in the black. I'll keep riding my horse. But just not this is fucking nuts. And to imagine that 94% of the cash would be on the fucking Padres and there'd be a 5-cent move. I will never ever, when I know that information, I will never knowingly bet on that team with 94% of the cash. Skubal is starting to look a little better, but do we care about the win at Oakland as a precursor as to what's to come? He's been worse at home than he has been on the road. 3-4, 4.33 ERA, 256 opponents batting average. So we saw Darvish step up because he was facing Max Scherzer. Now we're going to see Tariq Skubal possibly step up because he's facing Darvish when doesn't care about facing Tariq Skubal. And I don't know if Max really cared about facing Darvish. Padres versus lefties, they were smashing them early in the year. They don't do that anymore. And I know the Tigers don't hit righties. This game makes me extremely uncomfortable. Mike M says, I'm late to the Darvish bus. He is due to regress, and I think it happens with a motivated Skubal today. I guess the problem is something stops me from being like, watch me outsmart everybody because of the market. And that's what stopped me from betting the Angels yesterday. Was I going to look everybody in the eye and say, look, I'm going to bet on Jose Suarez, who has got a 6.56 ERA. I'm going to bet on him because what we saw from Zerpa isn't real. And against the Jays in that 5-inning performance when the Jays were scuffling. And the advanced models are telling us that there's really not much of a difference between Suarez, even though his ERA is ridiculously high, and Zerpa, who's a 22-year-old star. So,
wow.
Well, could be. I
appreciate it because he's Venezuelan, but
when you make it into the major leagues at 22 years old as a pitcher, you should become a star. I mean, that's what everybody's expectation of you is.
He was in Double-A. Maybe he got lucky because of all the COVID things and got called up, and they had a good start. And they're like, fuck it, let's bring him up again. That would be my concern. By the way, Johnny Gunn's asking a question real quick. What is the weighted runs created plus since the All-Star break? I'll give you that real quick. Detroit's against righties, and this is obviously from the 20th to the 27th, so 7 days. Small sample size. Against righties, they have 54 weighted runs created plus. That's 27th. Not as bad as the Giants, but really bad. Still, remember, 100's average. And against lefties, real quick, San Diego. Got to get the computer rolling here. Got to give her a shake. San Diego against lefties, they are third, actually. 216 weighted runs created plus since the All-Star break. That is only 26 plate appearances. So, again, an extremely, extremely, extremely small sample size. But there you go.
No, Sabino, we did. I did live in Costa Rica for 3 years, but we're back. We're back in North America. Nutflexon says if you think Scooball has a game, this is stone cold under. And Sammy Comer says bet the Tigers then, Jimmy. And look,
that's what I think you should do.
Look, I get it, but it's very difficult to bet your money against a pitcher like Darvish after what we just saw in the Mets and what Scooball's been doing in Scooball's splits. Like, it was very difficult to back Suarez. And I said on the show, you'll know I'm a great capper when I can pull the trigger on these spots. What, do you want me to bet $50 on it? Like, sure, I could bet $50 on the Tigers, but to put a real bet on it, like, I don't know if I can do it. Hey, look, there's Beach Boss in the house, man. Beach Boss, we have missed you. Man, what a legend in the low bag circles. Beach Boss, we haven't seen in months. Christopher Comte says, OG Beach, we haven't seen in over a year.
Beach Boss is an OG because I've never seen Beach Boss.
Oh, man, Beach Boss, wild dude. We love him. Okay, so Johnny Gunn says, Jimmy, there was a point where Scooball wasn't bet on anymore. Can we trust him now after the All-Star break? Look, if this was like more of a recreational thing, like if we were in Vegas, and you go down with 5K and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go against the public who's 94%, I can do that. But I can't do it. I can't bet the Tigers here. But I'll tell you what, I will never ever bet a team that has 94% of the cash and the market's not moving towards them. So
you're going to text me extremely pissed off if the Tigers win this game.
At least I'm getting off of those spots, though. Because, I could understand 3 years ago I'd be on the Padres right now. So, and look,
that's progress.
We're trying to evolve as cappers, and I
have to talk myself into those spots. Like, this is kind of like the example with the minus 300 fades. I have to talk myself into it, and it's not that I'm the smartest guy in the room. Kind of thing. I just feel like I have to put my money where my mouth is on certain occasions. Like I say often, I don't think any team should be a minus 300. But I feel like a dickhead if I keep just saying it and not putting my money where my mouth is and betting it. So that's what I have to tell myself to get myself into that. I have to bet this team kind of mantra personally.
I completely get it. This is a fascinating breakdown. Up 5 says Jimmy Tigers money line.
And what's great about this show is we're going to break records for how long this show is going to be too.
No, we haven't been hitting 3 hours anymore. We're fine. We'll keep rolling. I'm sorry. Look, these are games that are going to make or break our afternoon, and they're important.
Sure, of course. You know what's perfect as well?
What's that?
This poster.
Oh God. All right, let's keep rolling. Next up, 2:10 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels 41-56, 19-29 on the road at Kansas City Royals 39-58, 22-29 at home. A couple things here. Our guy Dan Bonner said, Jose, I just sent you a Twitter message. Check it out real fast. And Joe Yurkovich is on the Tigers plus 1.5 and the under 9.5 combined to create a plus 102. 102. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. This one is tricky. Let's move over to the weather. 81 Fahrenheit. Feels like 89 Fahrenheit. 5.2 miles per hour left to right. Stays left right between 5.2 and 3.7 miles per hour. Oh God, I do not want to hear about it.
No. Oh my God.
I'm gonna stay focused here. I'm gonna stay focused and not listen to you guys. Make sure that okay. There's only been a 5-cent move to the Royals. There was once a 10-cent move. There's now been a 5-cent move to the Royals on a total perspective. Opened up at 9 and moved in 5-cent increments to the under, and then moved to 8.5 at 10:52 this morning. And it also moved to 8.5, not at plus money for the under. It's 8.5 minus 105 to the under. So a real big move towards the under. Joe Yurkovich says Jason Junk does not throw a fastball. That's very important information. So we should look at what he's doing, what the Royals are doing against off-speed pitches here. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. 6,418 tickets in, 62% of the tickets, 86% of the cash on the Royals, and no movement towards them. 48% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the under. So clearly a feeling that Junk could have a nice start here. Junk spent most of the year with the AAA Salt Lake Bees, made 10 starts with them. 1-3, 3.88 ERA, 1.15 whip down there, 40 Ks in 48 2/3 with 11 walks, and he's only allowed 4 home runs. He had 1 inning of work this year in the show. It's May 28th, 1 inning in a 6-5 loss at home versus the Jays. Brad Keller coming off an ugly performance here. And, we love Helen Brad Keller here on the show. Let's get her up there. There she is, Helen Brad Keller. Last start got lit up at home versus the Rays. 4 innings, 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were in 1K and 5 walks. 4.16 ERA, 1.31 whip. It really looked like Helen Brad Keller was getting her shit together before that last start. He has been better at home than he has been on the road. 2-6, 3.88 ERA, 240 opponents, batting average. There's JR in the house. Thank you for joining us, JR. Billy Friedrich says, bum fight here on a getaway day. No thanks. No thanks. Angels versus righties, 232, 697 OPS. Royals versus righties, 245, 679 OPS. Neither hit righties. Angels bullpen is being, I guess, a little bit closer to mediocre of late. Royals bullpen continues to struggle. 4.56 ERA, 1.49 whip, converted 22 of 35. Take it away here, Jose Bouquett, Angels, Royals.
I will never be able to unsee what I just saw. Oh my God. The things that people are making, and I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can show it on air. I don't know.
If you don't think you can, you can't.
No, I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it.
All right.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have nightmares. Oh God. Passed on this game. This game fucking sucks. The guy's name is Junk. I'm all set. Jansen. Tubby Brad Keller finally had his first bad start since I was making fun of him. So maybe I'll lay off. I don't know. He sucks. This game sucks. Complete pass. Oh my God. That I can't get over that. That picture is ridiculous. Truly.
All right. Okay. I'm surprised there's been just a 5-cent move to Brad Keller. I mean, that makes very little sense to me here with Jansen Junk coming up. It's telling us that Jansen Junk is capable of having a decent start here. You have 62% of the tickets and 86% of cash on the so-called Royals ace, and the market's not moving towards them. It's nothing that I want. But do you want to sit here with the Tigers and the Angels at plus money here to start your day? These are very tricky games. The good thing is we have a ton of afternoon action, and we don't need to get bogged down by spots that make us a little uncomfortable. And we will revisit
posters that make us uncomfortable either.
Let's move on. 2:10 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Twins 52-45, 25-23 on the road at the Milwaukee Brewers, 54-44, 25-20 at home. We're in American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the White Sox are now just 3 back. Just 3 back of these Twinkies. In Milwaukee, the wind is blowing out. It's not as severe here with the stadium when they do partially open up the roof or however they do it. 12.9 miles per hour to left. But And let's move over to the line history here in Twins Brewers. These are two good baseball teams, and they have two good starters on the mound. There's been a big move towards Corbin Burns, a 25-cent move towards Corbin Burns.
Makes sense.
Minus 185 to minus 210. It sure does. And then we have a 10-cent move to the over. It was initially juiced to the under 8. It's now just a pick 'em. So let's take a look at the cash here with this spot. 7,515 tickets in. 76% of the tickets, 75% of the cash on the Brewers, and a big move towards them. All makes perfect sense. Then 43% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on the under. Big bets have come in on the under, and yet very little move there, or a 10-cent move to the over. And we have our guy up saying a big move towards the Washington Nationals, up 5. We're going to break that game down next. Saturated says lots of overs in these teams' recent pass. And the Dodgers just went from minus 300 to minus 250 on Bovada.
Wow. Those motherfuckers. Well, we'll talk about it. I'll lock it in over there because that is the fucking stupidest line ever, too.
It was nuts. All right, let's talk about this spot. Chris Archer going up against Corbin Burns. Archer's been quite good this year. Is he slowing down? Coming off an 11-0 loss at home to the White Sox, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, no homers, 5 Ks, 1 walk. Remember, this is a White Sox team that gets contact against righties, but no power whatsoever. But they got to Archer. Still good season, and he's been better on the road than he's been at home, holding opponents to just a 198 batting average. Corbin Burns on the other side, coming off a 6.5 extra inning win at home versus the Rockies, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, homer, 5 Ks, 2 walks. He has been a little worse at home than he's been on the road. 3-3 at home, 2.79 ERA, 194 opponents batting average. Beach Boss looking at the Twins at plus money. Billy Friedrich looking at the Twins first 5 at plus 176. Rodney Barton says Archer 13-3 to the no-run first inning. Burns 17-2. Wow. Says I'll be riding the no-run first inning and leaning to the full game under. The Twins are hitting 254, 752 OPS versus righties. Brewers 244, 751 OPS versus righties. Both teams can get to righties, and both bullpens have been a little disappointing of late, but we thought the Brewers bullpen was going to be very good. They are not. 3.92 ERA, 1.22 whip, 36 out of 49 converted save opportunities. They're a little above average. Joe Yurkich says he could get Brewers first 3 minus a half at plus 110. Take it away here, Jose Zenyatta Bouquett, Twins, Brewers.
Well, I do not love the Chris Archer side of all this, and Corbin Burns obviously is as good as advertised. Both these offenses are really good this year against righties. 7th are the Milwaukee Brewers, which is shocking to say, as we all, I don't know, we kind of expected them to struggle offensively. At least I did, but they're doing their thing. 109 weighted runs created plus is good enough. Minnesota's 113. That's 5th. I'd lean towards the over, but I truthfully, again, this was another pass for me. Maybe it's just ingrained into my instincts to pass on these afternoon games so far, but I just, nothing really jumped out at me here. You obviously had that line movement towards the Brewers, and like we said, it makes sense. If I had to play something here, I think I like Joe Yurkovich's first 3, but I don't have those. I would play the Brewers team total over here. I just don't trust Archer enough. We know Rocco Baldelli doesn't like his bullpen either. He manages with kids' gloves over there. So Brewers spot for me.
Yeah, I think this is all telling us. Alex Gagnon asking, where do you find the no-run first inning stats? Do you have a space that you find that information?
I do not know. I mean, I think a good way to do it would just be doing it manually, just checking each game log. It's maybe take a little bit of time, but I do not have one, no. But I'm sure my man Rodney Barton will probably have one. So, Rodney, let us know if you do.
The Twins have a confirmed lineup, and it's a good lineup. They want to win this game badly here. They know the White Sox are right in the rearview mirror. Arise, Correa, Buxton, Polanco, Miranda, Kirilloff, Garlick, Gordon, and then Gary Sanchez behind the plate.
Would be really soul-crushing for them to lose this division, I'll be honest.
And props.cash has good stats for no-run first inning. Props.cash. Says Rodney Barton. That's great. There's our guy Turnsy in the house. Says, what up, fellas? The Turner Landscaping crew is listening today in the truck. And not only do we have our guy Big Show Picks about to get married, same with our man Turnsy. Turnsy, a couple months away from getting married as well. And a beautiful family our guy Turnsy has too.
My
So,
invite must have gotten lost in the mail. It's okay.
say what?
My invite must have gotten lost in the mail.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
It happens. It happens. It happens.
But if you could just get a flight to Detroit, swim across the Detroit River there, get into Windsor, and you'll be good, man. They'll be happy to have you.
You know, I'll be honest. There's a lot of stereotypes with my kind going across rivers to get into other countries. So I think I'll just try to go through the regular way. Okay. And I do have that face that makes it seem like people wouldn't let me into their countries, but I'm sure Canadians are nice, right?
Very, very, very nice.
I'll tell them I know you, and then they'll let me in, right?
That will help immensely. I can understand someone wanting to move on the first 5 under here. I'm not going to do it. I don't trust Archer enough. The first 5 minus a half is a minus 150 for me, so I can't do that. I could take the first 5 minus 1, but even that would be at about a minus 115 or a minus 117 using the minus 1 calculator. And if that, I need to be up 2 runs to cash. This is very tricky. There's diehard MMA. Our guy Clint in the house.
Guest on the show tomorrow, Clint. Very excited for that. He's going to give me some tips on how to call some boxing matches, perhaps.
Oh, that will help.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Brewers are going to win this baseball game.
I do too.
So how can we put ourselves in a situation where it doesn't? I mean, look at the minus 1. It's still going to be what, minus 155?
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, it's pretty juiced, and I did not end up looking at that team total. It's probably a 4.5 would be my guess, and that's the kind of the line where I'm like, I don't know. A 4 I'd feel obviously more comfortable with, but it is a 4.5 minus 105, 4 minus 135. So, yeah.
Robert Franklin has Archer day game 5.12 ERA, but remember that those stats are funny because wasn't he pitching so well in the day, and then he got crushed in his last day game start?
I have suspicions about the day-night stats. I don't know. Those kind of feel like jug science to me.
I hear you. I do. Oh no, he's always been crushed in the daytime. That was it. He's always been crushed in the daytime, but he had a good start last out. I hear you. But I do think that there is some truth with the much younger pitchers being more comfortable pitching in the daytime than the vets. Maybe that's wrong, but I just think that. Okay.
I wish I could help you more, Jimmy. I really wish I could. I wish I was not just 4 games into this card so far, passing on every game. I'll tell you, I'm passing on the next game too. But at least I'm contributing the lovely posters to this program.
You are, and this is all about making money. It's not about.
Yeah, you're right, and that's why I have to pass. You say it, I say it on my show because you say it. We're not giving out these picks to bullshit around and give out fake plays. We're here to make money and win actual moolah, and some people have to win that money to get their families out of Parkdale. So instead of stressing out and sweating out a game that I don't feel comfortable in betting, I'd rather pass. Look at the game. Oh, Brewers won 17-1. I should have taken the minus 1. All right, I'll log that in for next time. We'll consider it next time. No harm, no foul, though. I don't lose any money at the end of the day, so we're all good.
Moose Money says Archer's xERA is 4.82, which is 1.4 runs higher than his ERA. I definitely expect some kind of regression down the stretch.
I agree. I also, Dami Gunn say this too. I bet you it's been a long time. I'll pull up Chris Archer's fan graphs in a second. I bet you it's been a really long time since he's pitched a significant workload. And I've been doing this with pitchers. The 3 pitchers that come to mind so far are Gonsolin, Cortez, and I forgot the third one. I have it written down in my notes from yesterday. I'll look it up here in a second. But those guys have never pitched like above their career high, and they're doing it right now. These are their career high innings pitched, and that's gonna wear on these guys, and eventually it's gonna be an issue. And if Spencer Strider, there's the other guy, even though he dominated yesterday, so shout out to him. But I think Chris Archer's been a minute since he's thrown 100+ innings. I know he's under strict like 4 innings and you're out kind of thing. But 2019 was the last time he threw 100 innings out of 119. He's got 66 so far. Just something to monitor. He's been hurt a lot. I don't know. It's just something that I look at as well now. But again, I've never been an Archer guy. I don't want to back him here personally. I understand if you're looking at a big plus money price, I don't hate that, but I would not want to lay anything here with any squad, truthfully.
Yeah, it just feels like the market is betting or lining us out of this game so that we can't bet it. I like the Brewers first 5, but do you want to put yourself in a situation where they have to win by 2 for you to get paid?
Yeah, first 5 -1. I've been cashing on those recently. I don't hate those as well, but the only play that I'm looking here is an over. And by the way, I'm sorry, Billy, because Billy was a high school counselor for Chris Archer. I'm sure he's a great guy, lovely human being. Not my cup of tea, not my pitcher. And ultimately just had to pass, like I've been saying. But over would be my play if I had to. And the worry for the over for me would be that Burns dominates the Twins and they don't contribute any to the scoring.
Yeah, all of it is fair, and I guess we just move on. There's Mr. Gokster in the house. He's on White Sox first 5 money line. San Diego, Detroit, no run in the first inning, and the Dodgers to score first for Mr. Gokster.
You know what's funny about Mr. Gokster? Ever since he slandered my name, I feel like we haven't seen him much in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, just observations. Whatever. I'm not saying anything by Mr. Gokster, but it's been a minute. So hello, nice to see you. And I'd love to have you on Say Hey Play since you're capping the baseball now, apparently.
Fireside looking at the Brewers team total over 4.5.
That would be also another play that I like in that game, but
I want to see what I would be being offered here. I would be being offered the yeah. Fuck, man. I think that's probably an okay look. I think that's probably the spot. But because then you can I
mean, you could always look at that no run in the first inning. I don't know what the price is for that, but shout out to Ryan.
I don't trust Archer.
I don't either. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. 3:10 p.m. Eastern is next up. Chicago White Sox 49-48. They have dipped their head above 500 and are just 3 games back of the Twins. For those of you who moved on White Sox futures with us, Colorado, well, only division, but I can understand. I think someone got them at 50-1 to win it all recently. Colorado Rockies 44-54, 28-24 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. What a game yesterday. Kopech was excellent. Herman Marquez was excellent.
Shocking.
3 runs were scored in that one. Let's take a look at the weather today. Over at Coors in Colorado, we have 89 Fahrenheit, 5 miles per hour, right to left, slightly in, and then fully right to left after a couple hours. So that's the situation here. White Sox, Rockies. Let's go over to the line history in this one. We have Giolito versus Senzatella. There's been a 5-cent move to the Colorado Rockies. The first move was to the White Sox, but it's come back. So there's been a 5-cent move to the Rockies. And this total sitting at 11.5, there's been a 5-cent move to the under. So not a lot of movement here. And God, if anybody has an idea what Giolito is going to give you, I'd sure like to know, because he's a very difficult capper to predict right now. Sports Insight's giving half line value to the Colorado Rockies. 6,935 tickets in, 35% of the tickets, 38% of the cash on the Colorado Rockies. Then 67% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the over. And I get that. I get why there's that money on the over, especially with Senzatella. Opponents are hitting 367 against them at home. 367. I mean, Brent Bibby in the house. Thank you so much for that dono, Brent Bibby. What a guy. Brent Bibby, inspiring us to deliver the goods. So let's get a winner. Let's get some. We're coming off a great day, but we need more of it. And shout out to you, Brent Bibby. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. Giolito, 6-6, 5.12 ERA, 1.46 WHIP. He's been bad all year. He's allowed 17 home runs and 91 in the third. Does have 104 Ks. His last start was awful. 3 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks. In an 8-2 loss at home versus Cleveland. He has been better on the road than he has been at home. On the road, he's 4-2 with a 4.27 ERA, 2.59 opponent's batting average. And we have Senzatella coming off a decent road start. But, man, can anybody trust this guy? White Sox, 250, but just 674 OPS versus righties. Rockies versus righties, 249, 703 OPS. White Sox bullpen, 4.03 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, converted 28 to 43. This Rockies bullpen, 4.64 ERA, 1.39 whip converted 20 to 37. The White Sox bullpen has been pitching quite a bit better of late. Take it away here, Jose. White Sox, Rockies.
Complete pass. This is Lucas Giolito's first time in Coors. It obviously didn't affect Kopech that much. Like someone said in the chat, he had 2 big double plays to get out of jam. So shout out to him there. But I don't want to back a pitcher making their first start in Coors Field as kind of just a blanket statement. I also have not bet on the White Sox in I don't know how long now. It feels like it's been forever. Because like I've been saying, I'm not going to bet on the White Sox until they get rid of Tony La Russa, and they're playing good enough to keep him around. And like I said, they weren't going to get rid of him anyway. So I just really don't think that he'll have a good start today. I don't trust Senzatella because I say every time Senzatella or Marquez pitch, when they come up, it's fade, fade, fade. Even though he had a good start yesterday, shout out to Herman. I just don't want to put my money in this game at all, truthfully. The low-scoring game yesterday makes me feel like it'll be an over kind of game. Lucas Giolito has had home run problems in the past. If you have home run problems in Coors Field, that's not going to be a good matchup for you, obviously. So I didn't really feel comfortable taking anything at the end of the day. This was just another pass, like I said. The first couple of games here, the lines have just been pretty tough. So I just had to pass here. But Dave J. Barista, I almost called him Dave J. Batista. Shout out to Dave Batista. Likes Lucas Giolito today. Large game for him. So shout out to Lucas.
I can understand wanting to move on the over, but there's been a 5-cent move to the under, and there'd been more than that. There was a 10-cent move as of 9 a.m., and all the money's coming in on the over. So why would the books be making the over so appealing if they were concerned that it was going to be a winning bet? Joe Yerkowitz says Rockies' best lineup out. Yeah, the Rockies lineup is out. Blackman, Hampson, Bryant, Cron, Rogers, Iglesias, McMahon, Diaz, and Daza. Damn. Okay, so still very hesitant, Jose and I, to lock anything in. We still have a ton of afternoon action. I tell you what, we're not going to finish off all these afternoon games and have no plays. So if we go through all of them and don't like anything, I'll go back because I wouldn't be against that Brewers team total over 4.5.
Let's move on to this next game, and we'll talk about plays here, Jimmy. I know that it might not arise your palate, but this game did something to me this morning, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Washington Nationals 34-65, 19-29 on the road at the LA Dodgers, 64-32, 34-15 at home. We're at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Chavez Ravine, 76 Fahrenheit, 6.6 miles per hour out to right center, goes up to 8.4 miles per hour. Take a look at the line history in this Dodgers Nats spot. We have that big move, huge move that was just spoken about, which means there's been a 10-cent move to the Nats since the opening line. But at 10 a.m., the Dodgers were minus 310. At 11:58 a.m., the Dodgers were minus 260. And that makes sense. From a total perspective, it was minus 115 to the under. Now it's minus 120 to the under. From a cash perspective, here we go. We have, here we go. 8,902 tickets in. 87% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the Dodgers. Then 84% of the tickets, 75% of the cash on the over. Patrick Corbin has been lousy this year, especially on the road. 1-7, 7.38 ERA, 349 opponent's batting average when he's been on the road. He's been trash. So he's allowed 18 home runs overall in 104 and 2/3 innings. Going up against Andrew Heaney, he's made one start in the majors since June. That was June 19th. That's all he's done. And he went 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 1 walk. He threw 5 innings in his last rehab start Thursday. He's on a 75 pitch limit. But when he's been on the mound this season, he's been absolutely lights out. But we haven't seen him in so long. But it's fair to say how good he's been. 1 home run allowed. He's got a 0.85 whip, 0.59 ERA, 23 Ks, and 4 walks. Nats hitting 248, 680 OPS versus lefties. Dodgers raking against lefties this year, 252, 760 OPS. And the Dodgers bullpen almost a full run better over 9 innings than the Nats bullpen. Fireside says that dealing the Nats juice balls or something. They're scoring all over the Dodgers this season, this series. Nats team total over 3.5 at plus 135. Take it away here, Jose. Nats, Dodgers.
Why in the world would this be a minus 300 with a pitcher that has not pitched since, like you mentioned, I forgot what date it was exactly, June.
Yeah, June 19th.
Why in the world would that be? It doesn't make any sense to me, and they want fucking suckers to take the bet. Hey, I'll fucking ride it. They're the Dodgers. They can't get swept by the Nationals. This team is so good. They got swept by the Pirates earlier this year. They lost again yesterday in convincing fashion. The Dodgers do this. They just fold sometimes. They're so good that it doesn't matter. They've won this division already. Who cares? Give me the Nationals' first 5 full game here. The line movement makes me feel, I guess, a little better. Call it a minus 300 fade. Call it a non-minus 300 fade. We call it the 300 rule around where I'm from now. But the play that, Jimmy, I think that you'll be interested in, particularly, maybe you don't want to take the plus 205 plus whatever it is now. Nationals team total over 3 at minus 115 is just crazy to me. Just crazy. What are we doing here? I don't understand. Like Andrew Heaney, again, he looked really good when he was pitching. And that's great. And they taught him the Dodgers slider that all the Dodgers pitchers have. But I just don't trust that this Dodgers team with a bullpen that is not the best, it's not what it used to be, can hold down a Nationals team to just 3 runs. I think it's pretty shocking this whole line was. And I'll say that he has pitched in like rehab starts, Heaney. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs off 2 home runs, 8 Ks, no walks against whoever the fuck he was going against in the complex starts. Who knows? It could be like a bunch of 18-year-olds. And he got crushed in the start previous to that one. So I don't know, man. I just thought this was just a really, really shocking line to give him that much respect. And maybe it's just the Dodgers bats against Pat Corbin. And obviously that's the scary part in all this. But I'll roll the dice with Pat, man. I'll roll the dice at a plus. Let me see. I'll double check what the line is here. But I just thought that this was a really, really surprising line. And that and the Padres line, those are the 2 lines that really stuck out to me and not making much sense to me. And I like the over in this game. I like the Nats team total, and I like first 5 full game Nationals, which, again, is pretty surprising to say with the Dodgers.
I can find a plus 195 at bet 365 at plus 228 for the full game. And let's get you the best team total available here. And that would be over 3.5 at plus 115.
You know what sucks? I did the most of, I wouldn't say most of the capping, it was last night, but I wrote down some odds earlier today, or earlier in the show, I should say. First 5 money line, beginning of the show is plus 205, now plus 185 for me. And obviously you gave me a better line, but I'll be betting the plus 280 or plus 185 because that's what I get, unfortunately. So I guess, this is just one of those things. Jump on it early. It just does not make sense. It really doesn't. And like you said, you got a 3.5 now for the Nats. I got a 3 earlier in the show, the beginning of the show, at minus 115.
Wow.
So, it's just crazy to me. Like, I did not understand why we're giving Andrew Heaney so much respect. It just does not make sense to me. I understand that, he looked good in the Nationals line up against lefties this year. They are, let me double check for everyone, 24th, 91 weighted runs created plus. Not good, but it's still in the 90s at the very least. Hundreds average. It's truly, if all else fails and you don't feel comfortable enough backing Patrick Corbin first 5 full game, and that's, reasonable people will think that. I think that team total 3 is now juiced, obviously. So you'll have to take the 3.5. I've got a plus 110. I'm still going to take that. It's just so surprising to me. Just so surprising. And I might be in a world of pain tonight, tripling up on a Nationals game, but this is what we are.
Well, they got much better line shopping for you in the chat. Thank you to everyone who did that. Billy Friedrich got you a much better line. Cashman as well. So the team total over 3.5 is plus 135 at BetMGM. The first 5 we found over Billy found over at Bookmaker is plus 207, but still that plus 228. No one's been able to beat that plus 228 thus far on the full game. That's available at Pinnacle. Fascinating. I absolutely agree. This is fascinating. So my question is, if Heaney was going to get touched, then why would there be a move towards the under? And also, why would there be a 50-cent move? And I don't think the 50-cent move was based on a big bet coming in on the Nationals. I think the lineup card's out for the Dodgers, and it's missing big pieces because it's a travel day.
It's, again, just one of the more shock and awe lines of the year. I'll be completely honest. Like, there are some minus 300 fades, and again, this is technically not one of them, but whatever. There are some of them that are tough to make, that really I'll agonize over making them. Adam Oller versus the Astros. Adam Oller, the Astro killer, actually 2-0 against them in his last 2. Not a big deal. This is an easy one to make. I thought this was a pretty clear cut, no problem bet. And am I wrong here? Patrick Corbin, no, they played the Astros in that World Series, because I was like, I feel like Patrick Corbin has been some big games against the Dodgers before, and he's come up pretty good. I mean, I'm looking at his batter versus pitcher now. 366 against Justin Turner, 300 against Maxey, 333 against Trace Thompson, small sample size. The rest are just not really that impressive. Freddie Freeman, 211, hitting off of him in 38 plate appearances. Bellinger, almost 300, 286. He hit a home run yesterday, so truthfully, I do not expect him to come back with back-to-back good games, because he has not been that guy recently. So it's just a shocking line here. And Johnny Gunn's asking, who do the Dodgers play tomorrow? Maybe it's a look-ahead spot, like you mentioned. It is Dodgers at Rockies to Coors. A spot where we heard Dave Robertson say a couple weeks ago, they just fucking own us here in Coors. I don't know what it is. Like he said, like we need to get out of here. Kershaw didn't pitch well there last year. Maybe they're looking ahead to that spot, trying to get the boys going and beat their division rivals. And it doesn't matter that we're playing a shitty Nationals team. Who cares? That's what I'm looking forward to. Fucking Nationals. Let's go.
You don't remember the name of the biggest stolen base in Boston Red Sox history?
I more remember him as the manager that gave us the 2018 World Series title, when he kept throwing Ryan Madsen out there like a buffoon. But yeah, Dave Roberts is great. Sorry.
Look, you very exciting action you have there, and I think that expecting Heaney to not be sharp here from a implied probability standpoint, being off for so long, makes sense. I don't know if I can put my cash on it. But Nuke Worker, you talked Nuke Worker into it.
And truthfully, Jimmy, I expect that answer every time I try to pitch a minus 300 fade to you. It's a tough thing to do. That's why I suggested the Nats team total over 3.5. I think that's like the perfect little middleman to get in here. Heaney gets touched. You don't have to worry about Pat Corbin shitting down his leg. It's a plus money spot. And at the end of the day, worst case scenario, Dodgers win big. Let's say like 20-0. Who cares? You get a fucking little pitcher, position player pitching, maybe a couple runs at the end of the game. That's my favorite part about these team totals. You're never out of it. You're never really out of it.
No, I hear you. You do. You're now Balky Bouquet. You've got a new nickname. Balky, don't be ridiculous. Bouquet's minus 300 fade of the day. Billy Friedrich, Nat score in the first inning is plus 307. I don't dislike that team total at all. I don't. I'll spend a little bit more time on it, and I'll put some asterisks here by the team total. All right, let's keep rolling. Tons of afternoon action still on the board. Next up, 3:37 p.m. Eastern. Houston Astros, 64-34, 34-20 on the road at the Oakland A's, 37-63, 16-33 at home at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Christian Javier going up against Cole Irvin. Feels like we've seen these guys matched up against their opponents all year long.
Yep.
That's not the case with Javier. He's only faced the A's once this year. It's Cole Irvin. Cole Irvin has faced these Astros 3 times this year, but we'll break that all down here in a second. Let's start with the weather, although I just don't find the weather that important in Oakland. I guess maybe when it's hot out, and it's hotter than normal right now in the Northern California, especially in the Pacific Northwest. 62 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 7.6 miles per hour out to right, and it goes up to 67 Fahrenheit. And it's
God, get out of here. 67? You fucking saying it's hot? Fucking boiling in 103 here?
Yes.
Fucking.
There's a lot of differences if you study
Northern California.
It's a much warmer than a regular day in Oakland.
Fuck that. Fuck you guys. Everyone that lives in Oakland, fuck you guys. You guys' weather's nice every day.
No, it's too cold in Oakland, I think. It's too cold in the Bay Area. I'd rather be warmer, if I was doing perfect. I think I like LA's weather, man. LA's weather I like best. Javier versus Irvin. Let's go to the line movement. We have a huge move to the Astros. Huge move. And this wasn't last night. This is all. Oh, I guess it did. I guess. No, sorry. I guess it started moving at 9:45, 9:30. Okay. But at first, the first move 10 cents towards Houston. Then it came back right after that. 10 minutes later, right back to Oakland. But since the opening line, there's been a 35-cent move to the Astros. From a total perspective, it opened up at 7.5 and it dropped to 7. And that 7 is juiced to the under at minus 120. So the market is telling us that Javier is going to be lights out, because the Astros are getting all this cash, market moving towards the Astros, and the market moving towards the under. So this is all about Christian Javier right now. And let's see where the cash is. 8,309 tickets in, 89% of tickets, 89% of the cash on the Astros, all the market moving towards them. Then this is confusing because 59% of the tickets are on the over, 51% of cash is on the over, and they're making it, much more appealing for anybody who wants to bet the over. Anybody. So that's fascinating. Let's just go over that total once more. They're now offering you to take the over 7 with no vig. That is fascinating. I'm certainly not going to be on an over here. Javier's last start, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 3 Ks, 4 walks, and a 3-2 win at home versus the Yankees. On the road, he's not being nearly as good as he's been at home. On the road, 3.97 ERA, 220 opponents batting average. Versus the A's in 2022, he went 4 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, but 4 Ks, 4 walks. Wasn't a great start. Didn't last long. Cole Irvin, on the other hand, has faced these Astros 3 times in 2022, and he's been very good against them. 1-1, 2.04 ERA. 17 2/3 he's gone against them. He's not allowed a home run. 14 hits, 8 Ks, 3 walks. His last start, win at home versus the Rangers, he was very good. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, just 1 was earned, 8 Ks, 1 walk. We know what the Rangers do to lefties. They hit lefties much harder than the Astros, although the Astros numbers are picking up a little bit. 238, 728 OPS now versus lefties. A's versus righties, 212, 607 OPS. The Astros bullpen so good. The A's bullpen not good. Yeah, Joe, I expected the roof to be open in Milwaukee. That breakdown was predicated on that roof being open. But I gotta go to a game there because I just don't feel like it affects as much the way they take the roof off of that stadium. But here we are, Astros, A's, and I think that Cole Irvin is going to pitch well again here against the Astros. I think he just knows he can get these guys out, and I don't think this is a situation where the Astros, with their comfort against them now at 4 start, are going to be able to hit him. But could you please give me the weighted runs created plus on the Astros versus lefties in whatever period of time you think fits best?
Well, for the year, they're 11th now, 109 weighted runs created plus. How about we do it for the last 7 days? How about the last 7 days? Last 7 days, 107 at-bats, which is actually the second most in this last week. So I guess people are starting to, or I guess the second half mantra was just throw lefties against the Astros. 142 weighted runs created plus. But look there, look at this Bobano jumping in here saying Oakland over half runs. Look there, look at that. If you copy pasted what I said about the Nationals and Dodgers game and pasted it here, it kind of makes the same amount of sense to me, truthfully. The A's, sleepy, whatever, Oakland, there's like 6 people watching the game. They're about to sweep the Astros. You know, how many times has that happened? Probably not many. Christian Javier, obviously really good. He had a bit of a struggle last time against the Yankees and what people called a revenge start for the Yankees after the no-hitter. But I still believe Javier is really good. However, he is also a perfect example. Let me pull up his Fangraphs real quick. He's a guy that has not pitched a lot of innings as well. His max is 101.1. He has an 83 and a third right now. So after he hits over 100, maybe gets into the 120s, that's where I'm going to be like, all right, let's start watching his starts very closely because the fatigue will get in there. He's been a reliever, though a long reliever. He's been a reliever for most of his Houston career. So I'm going to be very interested to see how he does in the second half. And it seems like Cole Irvin just kind of owns the Astros. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is just him being left-handed. Whatever, but his last, and he said 3 starts against the Astros. You can see why they want to start him again. His last time was before the Rangers start. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits. And that was a back-to-back, too, to make things even more hard because his first start against them, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Followed that up with 6 innings, 1 earned run, and then he pitched against them on the first of the month. So hold on, let me do my months real quick. January, February, March, April, May, June. 1st of June, he went 5 2/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run there as well. So I truthfully can't back the Astros at a super minus 206 dog. No thanks at all. If you want to back Oakland, go ahead. Obviously, I've said this before, if this was a minus 300, I'd have no problem fading the Astros here at a plus 168. It makes me a little more hesitant. But ultimately, I just had to pass on this game. But I do think that the Oakland A's can pull some magic here. Ian's right about their team totals, and I think it was Fireside as well. Fireside's laddering them. Here it is. Fireside's kind of giving a little mini step ladder, 2.5 even money, 3.5 plus 185. I mean, yeah, come on. I think that it's another spot where the dogs are live here.
So do I. But I still don't want to have anything to do with the A's bullpen. It would not surprise me if the A's look good after 5 innings and don't complete the sweep because the Astros get to that bullpen. So Robert Franklin looking at A's team total over 2.5. The question is, do I want the A's at plus 170 first 5 for a huge score instead of the first 5 plus a half, which is much more expensive because we're expecting very little runs in the first 5. So Rodney Martin says, I wonder if Altuve will play today. Jordan is a good look also. I do not think Altuve is going to play. I have not made any moves thus far, Sammy, although the Brewers team total over 4.5 I find quite interesting here. JW says, I like the over 7 a lot here. JW, I get it. But there's a huge red flag. From looking at, the comfort against the relief core, late in the series, and the comfort against these starters after seeing them now multiple times for both, I get it. But you can't get away from the fact that the books are offering you that over 7 on a silver platter with no vig when all the money's coming in on the over. And I'll never get over that in baseball, ever. So, see, Robert Franklin getting A's first 5 plus half plus 110. If I could get that, I would bet that right now. I'm getting minus 110. I still have to pay a little bit of vig if I want that. But I'm going to move on that, I believe. A's first 5 a -0.5, a -110. That's what I believe. Big Show Picks giving Beach Boss a shout out as well. Nice to have Beach Boss back in action. All right. So I'm going to be on the board there, and I expect to be on the board with the Brewers team total over 4.5.
I'll join you. I'm getting Oakland first 5 plus a half at plus 105.
See,
so I'll join you there.
That pisses me off, man.
Yeah, I figured it would. I will be honest. I did say it just to get a rise out of you, just because I like seeing Angry Jimmy a little bit. But I do actually have it at plus 105.
What would Pinnacle offer it if you want to get really angry here?
Probably plus 110.
Let's
just to grind your gears. By the way, Pinnacle is the king of offering odd lines like plus 113, plus like 106, just numbers with weird numbers.
Oh, you nailed it. Yeah, plus 110.
Now look at that.
All right. I believe I'm in. Sorry, did you want to make something official here on this one?
Yeah, I'm making. I already bet it just now. Oakland first 5 plus a half at plus 105 for me.
Oh no, we'll give you the plus 110 though for record keeping purposes.
Perfect.
Plus 114 at FanDuel. Oh, that makes me even angrier.
Yes, and it's plus 115 at Bookmaker according to. You just need to get that. You need to get that futures money from Greg, third leg Greg, and the fucking get that Pinnacle account opened up ASAP. Apparently.
Yeah, I do have it verified, the account, and I haven't filled it with cash yet. But I do have the Know Your Client has been.
I always thought that was a bad thing.
The what?
I thought the Know Your Client was a bad thing. I thought that was the moment where the books would be like, "Oh, hey, you're winning too much. Who are you?" That's what I always thought that was, to be honest.
It's always been the case when you get to Know Your Client, but they sent me it immediately. So
you have a reputation.
I just think that it's changing. That's all to me. I think it's just changing. Okay. All right, let's roll. So we are both on the A's first 5 plus a half, but one of us is going to get plus money on it. No, it's not. 3:40 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants 48-49, 22-27 on the road at Arizona Diamondbacks 44-53, 26-27 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. This one is very interesting. Roof will be closed. We have two very good pitchers on the mound. Let's take a look at the line history here right now with this Giants Arizona spot. We have a big move towards Zach. Well, 15-cent move towards Zach Allen. He opens up 5:02 p.m. yesterday at plus 110. He's now at minus 105. Then we have a 5-cent move to the under. So 15-cent move to the Diamondbacks and a 5-cent move to the under. Let's see if the cash follows suit here. We have slight line value, probably 12% line value on the Diamondbacks. And you can see the big bets coming in on them. 23% of the tickets on the Diamondbacks, but 46% of the just moved to 45% of the cash. Then 54% of tickets, 60% of cash on the under. So that all makes perfect sense. No red flags, nothing. Bigger bets coming in on the Diamondbacks, market moving towards them. Slightly bigger bets coming in on the under, and the market slightly moving towards the under. Logan Webb, 9-3, 2.77 ERA. A little worse on the road. On the road, he's 2-1 with a 3.16 ERA. Opponents hitting 217 off of him. He's coming off a very nice start at the Dodgers. Now, they lost 5-1, but he was good. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks. Did walk 4 batters, but we know what the Dodgers can do to righties at times. They did not do that to Logan Webb. Gallen coming off a gorgeous start himself, 10-1 win at home versus Washington. He went 7 innings, did not allow a run, did not walk a batter, only had 2 hits allowed against them. 3.31 ERA, 1.02 whip, and splits don't mean much. But he is undefeated at home. His numbers aren't that much difference. His opponents are only hitting 194 against him at home, but ERA very similar here. We have G. Martinez saying Giants morale so bad. I don't like that. Banana Boat Float says Zach Allen's a good pitcher, just hard to trust him out there. All right. Slatsy says Webb 3-0, 1.17 ERA in 4 starts versus the Diamondbacks. Slatsy, could you see how many of those starts were at home and how many were on the road, please? Oh, I guess that's not this year. That's overall. Okay, so I'll look into that for this year because that will be hard to look if it's career long. All right, Giants are hitting just 231, 697 OPS versus righties. We expected them to hit righties, not hit lefties. It's been the opposite. Diamondbacks are hitting just 221, 691 OPS versus righties. We didn't expect them to hit righties. We didn't expect them to hit anybody, and that's what they're doing. Giants bullpen has been falling apart. 4.41 ERA, 1.41 WHIP. Just converted 19 and 32 save opportunities. Diamondbacks ERA and WHIP very, very similar, slightly better. Take it away here, Jose Bouquett, Giants, Diamondbacks.
You know, I'm realizing during your long soliloquies, I get anxious. I want to just jump in here and just yell my play already.
Sure.
I'm on the Giants here, first 5. Truthfully, Zach Gallen, though he has been good this year, he had a string of bad starts, and he had the last start was his first good start in a while. The Diamondbacks winning the first 2 games here, and I know, like you mentioned, you don't like looking at the back or like past games, but the Giants trying to avoid the sweep here. My main concern here, if I'm betting the Giants, and I think I am, I got them first 5 minus a half. I wrote down -1 or plus 120, I should say, at the beginning of the show. Now it's at plus 110. I love minus prices apparently right now. So I'm going to move on that. Again, like the main concern here, my thing that I don't have access to, I'm not privy to because I do not watch Giants baseball often, is the morale. Like I need the team to be, alive to bet on them. And obviously the Giants offense is going to be the scary part. I think Logan Webb dominates here. Just give me 2 runs. That's all I ask from you, Giants offense. 2 runs off Zach Gallen, and I think we can roll here. I don't know what they're going to do, man. I hope that the Giants don't do anything rash like firing Gabe Kapler because I think he's a good manager. But if the Giants are checked out mentally, then that's not going to be a good sign for my bet here. So I would love to know, like a guy like Nutflush Allen, he watches his team often, I'm sure. Coin probably. He says that the Giants are a sinking ship right now, just like Boston. See, if it's the same thing, then I obviously do not want to be on it. So you guys let me know. But right now I'm on Giants first 5 plus 110 minus a half.
Well, we can get you plus 124 at Pinnacle for record-keeping purposes, which is what we'll do. I'm going to move on the first 5 under 4 with confidence. I think we can explain why Zach Gallen had a really nice start last out. The All-Star break helped him. Get a little bit of time off.
Sure.
Rest the arm a little bit. I think it's pretty easy to explain. And now we have back-to-back home starts.
I could also say the Washington Nationals are a dumpster fire.
But would you think the Giants hit righties harder than the Nats?
Let's find out. We'll use a career or not career. They are 13th are the Giants this year, 101 weighted runs created plus. Of course, I've got the Nationals full season against lefties. So let me back that up as I stall with my lovely voice here, and as I find the Nationals against righties are. I know this is very anticlimactic. I know they are 20th. 95 weighted runs created plus. So technically a little better. Technically the Giants are a little better at 13th, 101, 95. It's close.
I bet you if you took the last month or if you cut it down more, you would see the Nationals better than the Giants. The Giants team is just not hitting righties at all right now. But
this month, the Giants are 27th against righties, 73 weighted runs created plus, while your Nationals are 24th at 80.
Okay, yeah, not much better. No, I feel you. I like this spot very much. Beach Boss says don't put your heart into it. A little hesitant here. Joe Yeager says I'm on Arizona. The offense is rolling. Gallen is good. I get it.
I'm definitely on them. I'm not on the Giants full game. I'll tell you that 100% sure. Their bullpen is a dumpster fire as well. So I'll tell you that now. And I don't trust the Diamondbacks here. So I do like your first 5 under. I said 2 runs, and you said 4.
Yep.
4. Yeah, I think this could be like a 2-1, no problem. Full game, I'm taking the over. First 5, I'm taking the under.
A couple things here, Viper. If you could let me know what put you off of it, if you were on it at first, and then JPZ saying that he's only going to look at stats from after the All-Star break on like a new season. I would wait a little bit. Maybe this is a mistake, but I would wait another week or 2. I just think the sample size is a little too small and you'll see some extremes that might not help. But what do you think, Jose? I mean, maybe we should open this up a little bit. What do you think of the idea of just only looking at? Because I'm going to do that too here on the show, but I just don't think we have enough of a sample size at this point. What do you think of cutting off the entire first half of the season, only focusing on what's happened since the All-Star break for stats analysis?
I'm going to do that, but I need like one more week. I think I try to use 2-week samples. I think 2 weeks is good enough. Still small, obviously, but it's good enough to start off with, because that's what I did the first half of the season. So the stats that I'm giving right now, the weighted runs created plus for the last, since this hot streak, which it actually makes me feel like I should use the full season a little more, but whatever. I've been using the second or the first half stats, and with that first half, I have been including like the last week or so. So it's been like everything so far, all the past stats. But give it, like, I would say another week. Like I said, a week, give it 2 weeks, get the full sample size. That's when I start cutting it off there. I do think that you can find some good insights if you look in through a week, like Johnny Guns was mentioning. You wanted to see how, I forgot what team it was, but they were hitting like righties at like a 200 weighted runs created plus. It was like 30 at bats, but still a hot streak nonetheless. But I think it's 2 weeks is the sample size. And then from there, you go, you use that sample for another month, and you go for a month. And then after like a month and 2 weeks, that's when I cut it again to back to 2 weeks. So I know all this might be a little confusing. And this isn't like stuff I'm doing consciously either. This is just kind of stuff that I kind of do. I don't want it to be too big, because then you won't get the smaller picture. And then you don't want it to be too small because you don't see the bigger picture. So that's why, that's just kind of my mental process of how I'm using the first fives and all, or the splits and stuff.
No, I think it makes sense. And Ron Crawford says he set a spreadsheet for just July. I think maybe on Tuesday we can start it. I think maybe on Tuesday I'll take a look at the at bats and see if there's enough that make me feel comfortable. I just think against lefties I might not want to focus on 35 at bats.
Yeah, and that makes sense, and that's why I'm still using the second half, the full, or the first half. I'm still using the full first half until 2 weeks. So I'm probably going to do this until next week as well. So, and it's been working. I can't fucking talk shit about it. It's been working. Totally. I've been on a fire. I've been a heater the last 3 days. So
no doubt.
Whatever. If it works, it works.
James says officially Ohio sports betting will be legal come January 1st. Beachbot says, do you do parlays? And if so, how many is your max? I don't right now, and I haven't for a little while. But I completely understand anybody who does them. Like if I had a bankroll of $100 a day, I would. And if I was in Vegas with friends, I would probably I'd probably tie a bunch of games to, like, not with a big, but I would tie probably, I don't know, maybe like a quarter or a half unit with a bunch of games tying just to the Brewers first 5 money line against Archer at that huge price. But, and then, also bet the other games individually, but see if I could add a little odds boost. I would probably do that. Right now, I'm trying to keep everything very strict, but I have opened up the coffers a little bit now, and I'd like to do that more. I don't know why I've held off doing that.
Can I tell you a secret that I haven't told many people?
Sure.
I upped my unit size the last couple of days, like 3 or 4 days ago before my heater. I only upped it like $5.
Who cares?
So that's
great.
Exactly.
It's such a great thing to do. When you have the ability to up it, the increment of $5 it's just about upping it and trying to continue to up it. And I think that's something I've not been able to do over the last few years, and it pains me. And you guys know that last Christmas, I cut it 25% across the board, and that was like heartbreak hotel. That was like a lonely walk in the rain.
I'll say this. I think I obviously am a fucking post-grad student. I don't have a fucking bankroll of $100 bet like you do, Jimmy. I think honestly, one advantage of keeping my unit size so small is that it does not make me as fearful betting the underdogs that I do. For example, I'll shout out my guy Preston Ekdahl. Preston, I love Preston to death. He's a great gambler in his own right, but he's got the worst bank management skills of anyone I've ever met ever, because he'll have his bet that he loves, and then he won't bet it, and then he'll regret betting it, and then just double up on something else that he'll do, and then that will lose. So I've seen it plenty of times with Preston, and he'll know what I'm talking about. Shout out to our first Vegas trip in Wisconsin football. So it's truly one of the biggest things that have really, really helped me this year is just betting everything for one unit, no matter what. Like, I thought for sure the Guardians were going to smack the shit out of the Red Sox yesterday. I wasn't confident enough to take the money line, but I knew their team total was going to do wonders for me. I didn't fucking 5-unit max play that shit. And of course it wins pretty comfortably. Do I regret obviously not making more money on it? Sure. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to triple up on it and then have it lose one day and just kick myself 1,000 times for ruining half my bankroll on one bet after having a fantastic season, you know?
Yeah, no, it's great. I love all of that. I think what you could have done is what Pete did. Pete took him on the -1 line to get plus 161. When I was betting it myself, I was like, you know what, plus 130 is fine. Looking back, should I have tried to get that extra cash? Maybe.
And I tell you this, Jimmy, the another big thing that really, really helps me gambling, and I feel like an asshole saying all this because I'm fucking a baby gambler compared to some of you guys, but something that really helps me a lot is just remembering that the lines are not like probabilities of who's going to win the game. Like that is not what these lines are. It's just guys trying to get even action on both sides of the sides or whatever, you know what I'm trying to say here.
But we often see books not try to get even action on both sides.
And yes, you get those answers, but that's like typically, you know, what they try to do. And we'll talk about the fucking Astros games and whatnot. They've tried to get everyone on the Astros. A's lose ultimately. I just have to remember that because when I'm taking a -300 or fading a -300, in my head, when I first started gambling, it's like, oh, it's a -300. So the books think that like overwhelmingly these guys are going to win, et cetera, et cetera. But in actuality, it's still 50-50. It's still a baseball game. You still have no idea what's going to happen. A guy could dive for a ball and have it roll all the way to the roll wall like the Dodgers did yesterday, get a triple, we get a sac fly, and we get another run. You know, that stuff can happen all the time. So just keeping those factors always helped me gambling wise. They've helped me this year, thankfully.
Well, it's exciting. It's going to be exciting as we all expect to be capping together for years and years. And you're one of the youngest in the crew to watch you grow and watch you get better and better. And we talked about, and I didn't mean to put undue pressure on you. I just want you to know. I just want you to know how important it was. It was extremely important. This was the most important baseball season of your entire career. And you've shone in that situation. Shout out to El Dorado Custodian rolling with us, our guy. Also, razor sharp picks in the house. And this is from Nutflush Allen. He says, watch out or look out for the elbow of Webb. That's a little concerning. But he says Rodon caused problems in the dugout last night. Says Belt from the Dodgers series getting pulled. And rumor is Kapler's made noises about these were Bruce Bochy's guys.
Did you see that video, Jim?
I didn't know.
He walked into the dugout and there's a bat just leaning against the wall, and he kicked the bat and it just crushed one of the dudes, like another teammate, hit him right in the leg, and he went down immediately. And I was like, oh my God, how unfortunate. And I don't know. I've never been a Rodon guy, and it's been interesting to see the least to see how he does his thing. And Nutflush saying the Giants comment. I'm assuming that was the Giants comment there. I hope it was. If not, post it again, please. But yeah, what a weird team this Giants team is. I do not know what it is going to be. And it hit Tyro Estrada. Thank you for that comment, Christopher Commentini, and Estrada Schinberger. There you go. Shout out to G as well.
Don Max says it's hard, but has completely changed my capping and bankroll for the better. Never thought to one unit every bet till I started watching this show a little over a year ago. Don Mac, I didn't start doing it until watching or working with Pete every day. I used to change the amount that I bet depending on confidence. And
exactly. That's what I used to do too. And I did not start doing that until Jimmy and I started working together. So it's so important. I had to yell at one of my friends, actually, not really yell at him. He did the same thing. He thought the Royals were going to win yesterday. He was super confident, bet a lot on them. They lose. and now he's like, oh, my bankroll shit. But that's what happens, and it sucks. And this is like a 30-minute digression about gambling theory and all that. But
too bad he didn't watch our show yesterday, because I'm certain that I got a ton of people off of the Royals.
Well, he's a Royals fan. He's also a fucking idiot, so I love that guy. But how that goes.
That's an easy guy to love. Royals fan and a fucking idiot.
Exactly.
I like it. All right, let's keep rolling. 3:40 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Texas Rangers 43-53, 22-27 on the road at Seattle Mariners 53-45, 26-23 at home. We're at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. I love what we just did there, though. Previous jobs I've had, they're like, they want a showdown in an hour and a half, so tight. Not here. Slaughter says, do whatever you guys want to do, and stopping to talk about this is what's going to make us better gamblers, and that's all we're trying to do here. How do we be better gamblers? And that's why we work together like this, and it's showing. It's showing.
Yes, and by the way, quick one more thing. We started all this with parlays. Someone that dominates parlays is that Jeffrey Slaughter. Jeff Slaughter makes a fucking killing on parlays, and he does it a lot differently because he has a fucking bankroll from Kingdom Come. So he'll throw in like, this is a soccer example. He'll throw in like 3 Asian league teams, draw no bet, whatever, minus 300, minus 500, minus 400, get like a minus 200, whatever, and put like 4K on it, win 2K, and it'll be easy, no win, no stress, no winner there, or whatever the hell. So parlays work sometimes. You just you play them right. They're fucking tough. Obviously, they're brutal and designed to lose by 1, basically. But you'll make a killing off them if you're good at it.
Well, and I told you guys, when let's go back 15, 20 years ago, when I was like, how with my small bankroll can I have $1,000 day in the sports book? Because that's all I want. I want $1,000 day at the sportsbook. How could I do that? And then I figured it out. I have $400 I would bet with that day. I would bet $100 on each game of the top, my favorite 3 bets. I bet 100 on each of them individually, and then I would do $100 parlay with all 3 of those together, and the biggest favorite out west. And then if I got to the spot where I'd cash the first 3 games, I would have a plus 280 or plus 270 dog to hedge my parlay bet with. And it was magic. And it was with a $400 bankroll, and it was so much fun, and it worked well, and I was able. So I get it. It's all about what your bankroll is, because this is supposed to be really fun, and it's supposed to be really exciting. And if you have a $50 or $100 bankroll a day, do what you can to make it really exciting. And I took a ton of heat when I first went down to Costa Rica, because I had colleagues on air say the first thing I ever learned was not to bet parlays. And why do you bet parlays? And I fought back, and the first way I fought back, and I won't go into the other things, but first way I fought back was, look, I have $100 I can bet a day, and I want that huge jump. I want that exciting opportunity to turn that $100 into a lot of money. That's why I bet parlays.
Big shout out. I like horse racing too.
Yeah, but I've had I had such a good first couple months of the year, and this last few months of being hard on ye old bankroll. El Dorado Custodian, thank you so much, man. What a guy he is, always supporting us here at Pub Sports Radio. He says Brew Crew and Halos parlay seems interesting to me. So he's looking at Milwaukee and the Angels. Let's get back into this. Viper says I love 2-team parlays.
I do too.
Yeah,
very addicting.
And the things I said when I was taking the heat, it was my first ever show, was I said, do you gamble for a living? That's what I said to the person. I was like, do you gamble or do you sell picks for a living? Because if you gamble for a living, I will listen to every word that you say. But we don't need to get into that anymore. But if you gamble, this is all, if someone is gambling for a living, I'm like, man, I want my unit size to be bigger. I'm all ears. How did you do it? I will sit there and listen for hours. I will buy all the drinks. Shout out to Tease, who makes a living off this shit. I find that incredibly fascinating. Guys like that, you could write a book on, because I just it's not even the capping side of it. It's just the emotional roller coasters that must be is just crazy. And I'm sure that Tease has plenty of stories about times that he's won big and lost big and all that stuff. But
It's just crazy. It's just those swings and stuff are very much crazy. And my last little note about parlays, by the way, I'm extremely superstitious. That's a part of the Venezuelan culture, obviously. I love a cross sport parlay just because in my head I'm like they're gonna parlay all the same sport and they'll fuck you somehow. So you go cross sport, they won't fuck you, and that's obviously my lizard brain working as well. I can say all these smart things as well, and Nate actually posted a good comment. He said I was the smartest dumb kid I know. And that's true. Like I have a lizard brain when it comes to certain things, and that's one of them. By the way, Lucas Ryan. There you go.
He says, I currently deliver flowers and love it. Yeah, man. That's what life is all about. And you have a job where you can be thinking about your action and following your action while you do it. That's what life is all about, is finding, that kind of thing. Preston Ekdahl says Miami Eric is the only one. I have a couple friends, a very small amount, a few friends that gamble for a living and really gamble for a living. I remember when I started, we tried to find out how many people in America really gamble for a living. The problem is the ones who do probably don't want you to know it.
That's why Miami Eric is a myth. I'll tell you, Jimmy. One time we went to Biloxi, this fucking random dude that looked like he was in fucking tatters. Basically, could have been like a homeless man. We started like rubbing up against us because we were obviously making large bets. And it turned out that this guy, Miami Eric, fucking makes like gigantic bets, like 10K, like bombs and stuff like that. And we thought like this guy was literally like homeless and stuff. So it's the people you would not least expect. You do not expect those guys to be dropping bombs in the sports book, but those guys have the fucking knowledge. They know what they're doing. They do this shit every day, and we try to get everything we can.
Well, they have a bankroll. The whole thing is to build your bankroll. That's what everything is about. That's what everything we do is about, is building a bankroll. I remember when I first said, I was like, why would I want to take money out? Now with my local, it's 25% in and out every Friday, and that's a little different. But in an account, why would I want to take any money out? And he was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. And the whole idea for me is to have a bigger unit size, Then we can talk about real money. But let's keep rolling. This was very enjoyable, though. Very enjoyable. Auburn Brody says we need a show about parlays because I have a lot to say about parlays. Look, Pete and I did a parlay show. We did a show in Costa Rica once a week, and we put together our NFL parlays and we tracked them and we did it. Okay. So we're not against that. And one of the great things about working for Jeff Slaughter is if that's what you guys want, we'll do it. It'll always be like that at Pub Sports Radio. You guys tell us what you want, we'll do it. And we've got some really, really, really exciting stuff coming up for NFL that we're so close to talking about. We just need like a few more days to make sure it's all kind of locked, but we're so excited about it. And Lee Davis says it always comes down to discipline.
Yep.
He's absolutely right. Okay, let's roll. 3:40 p.m. Eastern. Texas Rangers 43-53, 22-27 on the road at the Mariners, 53-45, 26-23 at home. T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Very interesting hearing a vet like Domi Gun Ricci say the Mariners are going to fall off. Mariners are going to fall off in September. I loved hearing that because obviously with my Jays futures, I need the Mariners and the Rays to pose no risk, and I love seeing the Red Sox, fall off and the Angels be nothing. Jeffrey Moore, by the way, says I played poker for a living. It is mentally taxing. Gets to be a job, then the fun goes away. I've tried to do that a couple times in my life too with poker, and it's just the hours are insane. That's the problem. The hours are so ridiculous that you have no life whatsoever outside of the 15 hours that you're putting in every day at the table.
I don't know how Gamblestein does it. Shout out to Steen.
Yeah, Steen's the truth, man. And there's another professional gambler right there. Okay, let's talk about the weather quickly in Seattle. We have 80 Fahrenheit, feels like 83, 3.4 miles per hour out to left center, and then it moves all over the field, but it stays light, so it's not important. 3.1 to 3.3 miles an hour. Then we'll go into the line history in this one, and there was no run in the first inning in Morton Gibson. That first 5 under 5, I think. Oh, whatever. Fuck.
And the rain delay as well, I believe, in Pittsburgh and Detroit. Yeah.
All right, let's talk Greg Gonzalez here. There has been a 5-cent move to the Rangers, just a 5-cent move to the Rangers. This total opened up at 8.5, dropped to 8, went back to 8.5 at 5 in the morning, and then it's back at 8. It's at 8 at a pick 'em right now. So it has dropped a half run to 8. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. Rangers, Mariners. Again, so I'm going to refresh this to make sure we got the latest information here as well at Sports Insights. But here we go. Two teams I told you had full line value for Sports Insights yesterday. The Cubs had full line value. We have BLab69 tracking these plays, and they're being very successful. High ROI, average line in the plus. The Texas Rangers have full line value. 60% of the tickets, 69% of the cash. Then 93% of tickets are on the over, and they don't have the cash listed. So John Gray going up against Marco Gonzalez. Gray, 7-4, 3.48 ERA, 1.12 whip. He's pitching very well right now. Coming off a great start, but against a very light-hitting Miami Marlins squad. 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. On the road, he's 3-4 with a 3.74 ERA, 2.24 opponent's batting average. Marco Gonzalez on the hill. Hard to believe he's 5-10 for a team that's 8 games over 500. 3.74 ERA, 1.39 whip. His splits are non-issue. He pitches well at home and on the road, but he's coming off a bad start at home. It was against the Astros, who seem to have his number at times. 5 2/3, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 2 Ks. Rangers versus lefties, 248, 765 OPS. They smash them. Mariners versus righties, 234, 703 OPS. Rangers bullpen 3.80 ERA, 1.25 whip. Mariners bullpen 3.47 ERA, 1.10 whip. Take it away here, Jose. Rangers, Mariners.
Well, I'll be honest. I like the Seattle Mariners in this game, but you said full line value on the Rangers, right?
Full line value on the Texas Rangers.
Yeah. So I ultimately, when I heard that, I had to just lean towards the over, and I think I'll end up making this official as well. Over right now, actually. Wow. What's funny about this is that, again, I wrote down. So I'm looking at the wrong game. That makes sense. Hold on. There we go. Let's look at there we go. It's minus 110 now for the over. I had it minus 115 at the beginning of the show. So I like the 8. It's slow enough where it makes me feel comfortable. Rangers against lefties. We kind of know what they do. 5th this year, 116 weighted runs created plus. John Gray is not convincing. I didn't know really what the Rangers would be getting. And they kind of got exactly what they paid for. 7-4, 3.48 ERA is okay. It's fine. Home ERA of a 2.93 and 30 innings pitched. And the weird thing about John Gray is that, like, it seems like every other start of his, like, the majority of his starts are on the road this year. So his road ERA being a 3.74 and 65 innings pitched compared to 30 at home is, I don't know if it's concerning or maybe just the more innings pitched leads to that inflated ERA, just maybe a better sample size of who he actually is. And that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. So I think both these offenses have a good day today and give me the over 8.
Yeah, I'll line shop for you there. I'd like to take a quick look at the batter versus pitcher stats here. And remind me, it's going to take me a second to grab our guy B-Lab's Twitter handle. So if I get caught up in something, just remind me, but I'll pull it up here. I'll try to pull it up here. I know I will be able to. Let's just go over to batter versus pitcher here, because I would like to back John Gray, and it's back-to-back starts that Gonzalez has not looked very good. And Gonzalez, I find, is I want to say pretty predictable. You kind of get an idea of what he's going to give you day in and day out, depending on, what his last start was like. He gets hot and he gets touched. He's always going to give you, like, he's going to throw every 5th day. He's been very durable. Here we go against Gonzalez. Culberson inning 474.
Shout out to the Mariners in general for having the healthiest pitching staff in the league. They've all their starters have held firm.
Yeah, I like this. So let me get you here first. Oh, I forgot Beach Boss. I forgot I was Kev Reed's manager. Man, we've had lots of laughs off of that over the years. I totally forgot about that shit. Curb Stomp play today. Season's coming soon. He says he had a 20-1 run at one point last season. Can't wait. Oh man, we love that. Okay. Don Max says Rangers first 5 minus a half. Seattle's pen could keep this close. I'm with you. That's what I think I'm going to do here. But let's first line shop for Jose and get him locked down on this over 8. And let's just take one last look at that total again. It's gone down to 8 from 8.5. Oh, we don't have a cash flow yet, but we know all the tickets are on the over. That makes me very nervous. Let's move on to this. We get the over 8 minus 107. Quickly see if Circa can beat that for you. Over 8 minus 107.
Circa, good book.
And yeah, they are good. Over 8 minus 109. So over 8 minus 107 for Jose. Over 8 minus 107. And I would like to keep backing John Gray. He just seems like he's pitching very well right now. You know, spent most of his career, all of his career before this year in Colorado, so they don't have much history against him. And let's see what I would get here. And let me just look one more time at the money line here. Oh, it's the full line value spot. Money coming in on the Rangers as we speak.
Yeah, that's tough. That's why, like I said, I was on the I was originally capped at thinking Mariner spot, but you know, full line value. It's a tricky bitch. You know, she'll win often, but yeah. Ultimately, just had to pass on it, and it makes well, I didn't pass on it. I passed on the side. I think that there's an offense at least.
Fuck, I'm too late. I'm too late to this fucking party. It's minus 125.
Let's keep going up. I bet you it's gonna be, well, this is an afternoon game, so actually never mind. I was gonna say by hey plays time, it might be closer to 150. Who knows? But yeah.
Okay, I want the Rangers. Right. Fuck, that's expensive. Okay, I want the Rangers first 5, but that might be too expensive.
I do have a question for you. You often mention first to the funeral, late to the party. You say that. Look, let's just use this game for example. The Rangers are the side. They're minus 120 now, minus 125 now. So if the line moved to minus 130 later in the day, you're not going to take it because it's not that you don't think that the Rangers are still going to win the game. You still think they win. You just don't want other people to have a better price.
Well, that I think that's a mistake. And I tried to not let that get in my head. It's a jealousy when my friends get a better price than me that I think it hurts me. It does. It negatively affects my capping. But what did you? If it goes from what like if it goes from plus 100 to minus 130, I can't take it.
Just a shitty price. I
can't take it. If you could have got it with 50-50 implied probability, and now I've got to take it at minus 130. It's irresponsible.
And would you take something else like? Again, using this game for example, let's say it gets up to minus 150 Rangers. Would you take like a team total? You know, bet on them in another roundabout way.
If I could figure that out, if I could figure out a way here, I think more about when a team is cashing. Like remember when I ran the Blue Jays after that early series against the Angels, and it was Big Ragu who was really, it was against Ohtani. Remember, Big Ragu was so confident in the Blue Jays against Ohtani. By the way, Big Ragu on our show right now is 39 wins and 23 losses, hitting at 62.9% on our show, plus 17.6 units with an ROI, plus 28.39%, and an average line of plus 104. And Big Ragu will be our guest tomorrow on the show. So I got in perfect, but if you had got in at the 9th game or 8th game of that winning streak, I'm very hesitant to get in late in winning streaks. And when a team's making a ton of money on team total overs, I'll just say I've missed it. That's what I mean, more of that with being late to the party, early to the funeral.
Gotcha.
But I can't, it's irresponsible. Now, it's a little different in MLB. Because I have a much higher ROI on plays I talk out during the show where we study the market. If that's the case, then I don't care about missing plays by 15 and 20 cents anymore. If it gets to 30 cents, I've got to let it go. But I don't care anymore about 15 or 20 cents. In other sports, I care very much. In other sports, I don't care about the market movements as much. But
I think in baseball, it's more unique for sure. Because I hear, I don't know. Were you on the Blue Jays yesterday?
Yes, I was with extra. I put extra into it after the show as well. Now, that extra didn't cash out that much because I was on the -1.
So I took the -1.5, and obviously I think if you took them earlier, you probably got a better line. But I wasn't on them originally after your show, and then sitting there, I had all the Canadians in my ear telling me Blue Jays, Blue Jays, Blue Jays, and I still ended up taking the -1.5 and cashing, which was nice. So it's just one of those things, it's always a personal preference on, line movements and such. Typically, when the line moves towards the team I already like, I actually feel like it does worse. Like, I lose more often, but those are all the things. I don't keep track of that. That's just all like my mental math in my head that I've been like trying to remember. And I know that you felt the same way. I remember you said that you're tracking your action, and when the line moves towards you, late night or whatever, it's been screwing you.
Yeah, especially in NHL. In MLB, things are a little different. In fact, I would like it. I would like it if the market. I want, let's say, 60% of the tickets on my team and 78% of the cash, and the market to move 20 cents in that direction. I like that. All my ducks are in a row. I can be quite confident in it, and so I have no problem with that. In other sports, it's different, especially in NFL. Our NFL shows on Tuesday nights, and there's a lot of people who think that's a day late. And that's the legitimate thing to feel, but you have to beat the lines in NFL. You have to. In NHL, that worked heavily against me. And when you talk about Noli knows with his totals, when the line moves against him, his ROI is much higher. So it's Joe Erie says your confidence needs to be value driven, like Jose fading -300 teams. Razor says Razor's MLB bets are different than MLB. He says, like you just said, Jimmy, sometimes +100 is the same as -120 because it's still a money line bet and you aren't losing points like in NFL or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously baseball is a little different. Like basketball, the spread moving is a fucking big deal. So stuff like that, football, if it goes from like 7.5 to like 6.5, that stuff's a big deal. The money line prices, I think, are obviously a little different, truthfully, towards baseball. But this is all just our gambling theorem talks.
Yeah.
By the way, Jimmy, I think the beginning of the show, I had a feeling that you thought maybe it was a little bit too jokey. We've tightened it up here. I should have put my blazer and tie on. We're not joking anymore. Serious. But I do want to show this again, though. Just never forget that.
Mike M says, what level did you get uncomfortable with the public money? 80% ticket, 78% cash. No, that doesn't make me uncomfortable. It's really tight there. I can tell you, and I let you guys know, like, when I'm like so uncomfortable. What's a good example here today? Let's go. We have oh man, we still have okay, here. This was the Darvish spot. Made me so uncomfortable. It closed with 14,000 tickets in, 80% of the tickets, 89% of the cash on the Padres. And there was no movement? Fucking never. I will never. I've learned enough that I'll never make that mistake again. I'm not saying the Padres will lose, they'll never, nothing's like 100% true. They're not going to lose 100% of the time, but that scares me more. I would prefer, and I'll have more confidence if the tickets are, around 60, 65, 70 and whatever. And the cash is more than the tickets. If it's a little less, it doesn't bother me. If it's a lot less, I won't bet it. I just won't bet it. I will try. It's because we have an early show. When I do Jose's show, the lines or where the public has come in and done their thing. But when we have our early show, we're talking about the sharps and the models and the overnight bettors. So it's God, this stuff is fun, and we'll talk about it forever until our unit size is 5,000 a pop, and like, look, I know with my unit size in MLB, $150. Like, if you have your tickets in front of you and they're $150 a pop, it's fine, and no one will disrespect it really. But if you're sitting here and you're doing a show with $1,000 tickets, then that's must watch. Everybody will watch that show. How did you get in that situation? I mean, there are cappers in our industry whose parents won the lottery. We don't even say names, stuff like that, but so you can explain. You're like,
literally?
Oh yeah, And you're like, okay, well, that's why that person can make some of those bets because, they had that, whatever. It's not whatever. It is what it is. But other people who have to earn everything that they get and earn the fucking bigger unit size and all that shit. Once you've earned that shit, everybody respects that and they want to know what you have to say and how you got there.
Hey, Jimmy, I just want to let you know that the Mega Millions, the next jackpot's 1.2 billion or 1.02 billion. You want to?
I've never played the lottery in my entire life, and I never will. Not one cent.
We can split some tickets, Jimmy. 1.02 billion? Come on.
Never. I will never play lottery in my entire life ever. Not 1 cent, and I don't give a fuck. And I don't want to win like that. I don't want that. That's not how I want to win in life,
Buddy, that's how I want to win in life. Give it to me.
I get it.
Give it to me with that work. That's why I would have given Betty White all the fucking loving at the end of her life.
Well,
I would have put in all that work, and then I would have been rewarded with half her estate.
Beach Boss says, I say bet your daily unit on the 7 p.m. game. If you lose, double it up for a 10 p.m. game. If you lose twice in a day, that's bad luck. But rare. I don't.
It's ballsy, Beach Boss.
That's something that I've watched friends do in casinos on roulette, and like to me, that's another thing. I don't want to. We talk about these plays and we break them down so heavy so that we can kind of think it's not a gamble. We're investing. And I'd prefer not to just kind of, gamble like that. And I've seen it blow up in people's faces doing that. Like I remember sitting at a poker table, and my man Billin walked in, and there'd been 8 reds in a row on roulette, and I could see it from the poker table. And he makes a bet on black, and it comes red. So he doubles it up, and it comes red again. And then there was a bunch of Asian guys and women at the table, and they were like, yelling at him, why aren't you joining? They're all making so much money. They're laughing, giving 5-5s, and here's Billin on black, and it went red again. And I think he had $600 with him to go to the poker table, and he had to go to the bank machine to get more. And by that time, of course, it landed on red, and he was shook. He was just such a fucking, you're just shook, and you're such an idiot, and like
that's what Preston does. That's what me and Preston actually do. Whenever we go to a casino, we'll troll around there for Preston will walk around for like 5 hours because he's a psychopath. But he'll just look around for a roulette, and then we'll just put half our fucking bankroll on black or red, and we ride, dude. That's how you get any Vegas trip or gambling trick started. You just throw half the bankroll in black or red, and you live a little.
Yeah, there's not, this is supposed to be fun. You do it however. A Beach Boss says, how many units do you plan to win per day? I've changed my system in MLB. I just take what the league offers. Yesterday, I had 5 bets. I added 3 after the show, and I had 2 before the show. Some days I have more. Now, I fell apart the week before the All-Star break, and, it hurt. And I start reaching. It's the psychology of winning and losing. When you're winning, you are smarter. You make smarter bets. You don't reach. You're sharper. When you're losing, you start reaching. And you start risking. And you start. Now, we've all made those big mistakes before. We can all talk about when we've made them. Once you make them enough times, you should stop making them. It's easier said than done, obviously.
Yep. Shout out to Liverpool.
And then Beach Boss says, so what are you doing putting multiple units on multiple games per day? No, I almost never put multiple units. I have on the Blue Jays twice in the last week, and they both cashed. But no, but that was something I did before I was making money off of other things than gambling. When gambling was what was going to put food on the table. I mean, I still was doing stand-up and shit like that, but when it was very, very important to my rent, I would take advantage of spots where there was a huge opportunity, and I've stopped doing that, and I think it's hurt me. But feel free to hammer questions as we go. Beach Boss says, is live betting a way to cover your losses? I can't wait to talk to you guys about what we're doing here very soon at Pub Sports Radio, and it will include live betting. And also the opportunity, we're working on the graphics so that when we make our bet, we can show the ticket and it will be like right on the screen so that people, because sometimes like on our horse racing show, it's hard to tell what bet you've made. So we got some very, very exciting live betting stuff that's not horse related, although we're going to keep hammering horses as always. Okay, let's keep rolling. Although I truly, truly do love this stuff. And you guys are right about the COVID testing really hurting us. It changed not just the COVID testing, but having environments where the players weren't going out at night. Also, so much of capping changed, and we'll fix this. Rob Free says, damn, at this pace, we'll never reach Subway Series. Okay, Rob, we are rolling. Next up, we have Miami Marlins at Cincinnati Reds. This is a fantastic pitching matchup, and it is also the spreadsheet play of the day from our guy, Ron Crawford. And it is the Cincinnati Reds whom he is on, something that was backed by Joe Yurkovich when Ron announced it at the top of the show. Marlins 24-28 on the road, just 5 games under 500. Feels like they're a shit ball club, but they've been okay. Against the Reds, 37-59, 21-30 at home. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's move over to the weather. And it is hot, 86 Fahrenheit, but feels like 101, 9.4 miles per hour out to left field, dies down to 7.6. But offensive weather in Cincinnati. Now, there was offensive weather yesterday, not quite the same with the wind going out, but there was offensive weather, and those pitchers shut down the opposition, Pablo Lopez and Hunter Green. Now we have Braxton Garrett and Luis Castillo. 24-year-old Braxton Garrett, 7th overall pick in the 2016 draft out of high school. Let's go over to the line history in this Marlins-Reds spot. Garrett, Castillo. We open with the Reds at minus 160. They went down to minus 145, a 15-cent move towards the Marlins. It's come back 5 cents. But there's been a 10-cent move to the Marlins since the opening line of Braxton Garrett. Then we have the total opening up at 8. It's moved 8.5. That makes sense. Very offensive weather. So, again, we have a slight move to the Reds and a real move to the over. Let's see if the cash correlates with all of that here. So we have slight line value on the Marlins here, about 10%. 8,612 tickets in. 25% of the tickets, 31% of the cash on the Marlins. Then 56% of the cash and 84% of the tickets on the under. Yet they're making that under more appealing to anybody who wants to bet it. Joe Yurkovich said Braxton due to get hit here, in my opinion. Don Mack had a 70-unit NBA season. What an unbelievable season you had there. Moose Money says on the Reds, backing Castillo and fading the Miami lineup. Also looking under. Moose Money, I meant to have you with a date for the show. I'm gonna put this on the top of my. We want you on the show. So I'm going to put this in capitals here. Let's get Moose Money on the show. Brothers and Bets in the house. What a great group Brothers and Bets is. That's our guy, Coach. Says, I need a morning play live from Vegas. Shout out to Coach. Cashed a nice $500 ticket yesterday in WNBA to start out that trip. We'll go over everything here in a second, my man, but let's finish this breakdown off. Braxton Garrett, who Joe Yurkovich thinks will get touched here. Last start looked very good. It was at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't hit lefty. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 1 walk. Now, he had back-to-back starts against Pittsburgh, which does make it look a little more impressive because he shut them down. I believe he had 11 Ks in that first outing against them. It was something like 18 Ks or 18 Ks over the 2 starts. He looked very good against the light-hitting squad. 3.42 ERA, 1.14 whip, 24-year-old, highly thought-of prospect, 7th overall pick in 2016. And we have Luis Castillo. Interesting. He hasn't started since July 14th, Jose. He threw a scoreless inning in the All-Star game, but they sure have given his arm a little bit of rest. Only throwing 7
Can't get him hurt.
Because they want to trade him.
Because they want to trade him. This is his last start as a Cincinnati Red.
Very interesting. I'm interested to see how you're going to include that. He's been good at home, 3.60, 211 opponents batting average, but he's been much better on the road. Marlins are hitting 245, 698 OPS versus righties. Reds 246, 707 OPS versus lefties. Marlins bullpen 4.01 ERA, 1.34 whip. Starting to pitch a little better. They've been very streaky. Reds bullpen being bad all year. Take it away here for us, Jose. Marlins, Reds.
Past game, I don't even want to talk about this game. Truthfully, Braxton Garrett has been a mystery to me. He dominated my Pirates, so maybe I've got a little animosity towards him. I don't know. He's pitched well. He's a good lefty so far, but I've got guys like Mark in our chat saying all aboard the fade the Marlins trade for the second half of the season, and their offense is shit. I was pleasantly surprised about how well my man Pablo Lopez has been doing this year, but I truthfully don't want to back anyone on any team in this game. The over-under, I didn't really have an opinion on, truthfully. And Luis Castillo, like I said, is going to be his last start. And like Zuzu5 is saying here, there's going to be a lot of scouts there. He thinks he's going to perform. I can see it, sure, but I didn't want to bet it. I didn't want to take my chances on it, truthfully. So I passed on this game. This was probably one of the easier passes that I had on the card, truthfully.
I agree. Some mixed messages with the total. You have very offensive weather. Two pitchers pitching very well right now. Much bigger bets coming in on the under, and the total moving from 8 to 8.5. That's enough to concern me. You have bigger bets coming in on the Marlins. I think that makes sense to me, actually, because I agree with your take on Castillo being out of his rhythm and what's he going to do, especially with everybody watching. I'd be very. Charlie Richards says, "Sorry at work. The show got me off the Royals yesterday." I love that, Charlie, and I can't wait till we can bet on a 6.5 ERA Suarez in that situation. But at least we save money.
By the way, Jake Valiant has a good point here. Castillo won't go deep. I agree. I think he goes 5. I think I would be pretty surprised if he went more. Again, just don't want to get him hurt. Like this, the Reds have. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, 2 trade pieces, and that's it. And Castillo's obviously the biggest one. He's probably the best starter on the market. So this is their chance to cash in, and it's a super sellers market right now. So yeah. This is a Castillo 5 innings, get out of there, and hope you enjoy your time in Cincinnati.
I understand your uncomfort in this game, and I will share it with you. Let's move on to the Subway Series, 7 p.m. Eastern. New York Yankees 66-32, 29-20 on the road at the New York Mets 60-37. Wow, look at these records. 30-17 at home. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Our guy, Domi Gun Ricci. He is taking.
Shout out to Domi. Yeah, got us on winning yesterday.
Yeah, he cashed. Domi Gun. He gave us a weather report live in New York, and then he cashed the Mets team total over 3.5 in an inning.
First inning, yep, and the over.
And he cashed the over very easily. He's taking his grandson and his cousin's son to Legoland. So he is, that's what he's doing today. He's got a bunch of pre-rolls. He said he's ready to disappear, and he wanted just to talk about what he's doing. He's leaning to the over 7.5, but waiting to see if it goes to 7. He says line move back towards the Mets was telling. So he bet Herman over 4.5 Ks at plus 127. Says he can get to 5, and that's a good price. This is a very interesting spot with Domingo Herman. So he throws 3 innings in his first start of the year. 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 Ks, 1 walk, 7-5 loss. Houston gets tough spot. But it's one of these situations that we see often, and that's when a pitcher in rehab is unbelievable. And then he comes up and he gets touched. Who is it on the Cardinals that was the last one? Flaherty, thank you. Flaherty did the exact same thing. He was unhittable in the minors. He comes up and he gets touched immediately in his first start. Now, Flaherty got touched in his second start as well.
And then got hurt again immediately.
Yeah. And WT says Herman was rusty in his return. I expect a better performance. Listen to what Herman did in 20 and a third rehab starts. Now, it was across single A, double A, and triple A. He allowed 1 run, and he walked 1 batter. In 20 and a third innings, he was spectacular. Is he going to show out now? This is another very, very pressure-filled start. Let's go quickly to the weather here at Citi Field. 81 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour to left center, dies down to 8.9. Let's move over to the line history in this one. Yankees, Mets. And we have a 15-cent move to the Metropolitans, opening at minus 165, now minus 180. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 8 and it dropped to 7.5. And Domi's right. That's 7.5's at minus 125. So you could get 7s. You could pay for 7s. Beach Boss says this is so obviously the Yankees. Wow. Imagine that against Maximus Scherzer. So Scherzer. Oh, let's go over to the cash, right? Sorry, let's go over to the cash in this Yankees Mets. We have 25% line value on Max Scherzer in the Mets. 8,044 tickets in. 56% of the tickets, 68% of the cash on the Mets market moving towards the Mets. 13% of tickets on the under, 62% of cash on the under. Wow. So huge bets have come in on the under, and the market keeps pushing that number down and down. They're worried about this under, which means they expect Herman to pitch well. And Scherzer. Scherzer got outpitched by Yu Darvish in his last start. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 8 Ks, 1 walk. He still pitched well. 2.28 ERA, 0.89 whip. He's been a little worse at home, but a little worse is 3-1 with a 2.56 ERA, 191 opponent's batting average. Yankees versus righties, 245, 770. Mets versus righties, 258, 731. They both hit him. Yankees bullpen, 2.94 ERA, 1.13 whip. Mets bullpen being good all year, 3.50 ERA, 1.22 whip. Not as good as the Yankees, but good. Take it away here. Don Max says, I think Domingo gets lit up. Let's hear what Jose Bouquett thinks. Yankees, Mets.
It's close to Balco. I'm almost a steroids guy.
Yeah.
I truthfully, I like the over in this game. So this was obviously like another stay off game for me personally. I find it funny that I think it's harder to bet, and this is going to sound like the most obvious statement ever, but it's obviously a little harder to bet on two good teams to decide who's going to win, all that stuff. And that's why I'm like, oh man, the playoffs are going to be brutal. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to say the least. If I'm being an unbiased gambler here, and that's what I am on betting with the bag, I am an unbiased baseball gambler. My only play that I like here is the Yankees team total over 3 at -110. We talk about value. It's not often you're going to see a Yankees team total at 3. Obviously, Mike Stanton out with his yearly IL stint already. But Aaron Judge is hitting really well. He's going for Roger Maris's record. Let's not forget that's the American League record too. So it would be a real shame if he breaks that record and then leaves to another team next year. I'd hate to see it. And Max Scherzer is susceptible to the home run ball. It's the older pitchers, the older really, really good pitchers like Scherzer and Verlander are always kind of like the only team that can really get to them is a home run ball here and there. And that's kind of what it seems like. 3 is a super, super low total. Even if we get Max out of this game in like the 7th inning, I'll take my chances in the 8th and in the 7th and 8th, ideally. But we'll see. I don't have anything official here, but the only thing that I would play is the Yankees team total over 3.
This is a spot for me where everything is correlating with the Mets taking care of business. Scherzer, this is why one of the reasons why I wanted to pitch in New York City was for games like this.
Yep. Beat their ass, Max. Jimmy, you've heard me say that I think the Mets are a top 4 team in baseball, and I do not think that the Yankees are going to be in the ALCS. So just by that logic alone, I just think the Mets are the better team, top to bottom. Truthfully, the Yankees bullpen has been great this year, but it's going to take a second half regression because they don't have Michael King anymore, and he was a really, really good starter or really good reliever for them. They've got like Wandy Peralta, Johnny Lasagna back there. At the end of the day, I just trust this Mets squad top to bottom better. I think they have a better lineup right now. Pitching staff, obviously, you can say is kind of a wash, but even with the injured Mets lineup and pitching staff, I think it's close. So I just take the better team here at the end of the day. And Domingo Germán, let's not forget, he's an asshole and no one likes him. So I think that, truthfully, that he gets touched up, but I didn't want to bet on this game, and that's why I kind of like the over in this game too. But Ragu and people like that saying the under, and basically that's why
he's saying this will not be a 3-2 game. He's on the over.
Okay.
He's on the over. We did shut out our tomorrow's guest, Big Ragu. We did talk about his spectacular record here on the show. Fireside, a bunch of books use first 3 lines. So the ones I know for sure, Will Hill and Bet365. But look, this is correlated for me. And I love that he got outpitched by Yu Darvish in the last start. And I love him in a big spot like this. I'm going to go for it here. And I love that the Yankees are starting to scuffle. We've been waiting for it all year. Look, they're just 29-20 on the road.
Jim, and I'm going to say this, and it's only been Canadians been saying this, but Blue Jays aren't dead in that division yet.
Oh,
Blue
well,
Jays aren't dead. Blue Jays aren't dead. If they keep struggling here, and I think they are, like I said, Nestor Cortez, I think he's the second half regression guy. I think their bullpen's going to regress. Going to be very interesting.
And Pavy just moved on the Jays recently to win the division.
Good, yeah. That's like I said, it's only Canadians that's been Dennis Garcia, Pavy. The guy's been moving on the Blue Jays, and I don't hate it. I guess you can get good plus money spots, but I'd rather have the Blue Jays to World Series or ALCS champs or AL champs.
They need some help. They need some pitching.
I've already been. I think it was on my show. I've already been asked if I'm going to the Astros Blue Jays ALCS games. Jimmy, if you want to come down, I can get us some good tickets. I've got my guy in the Astros organization.
If that happens, I'll be very appealing. I might be able to pull that off. I'm moving on the Mets. First 5 -1/2, full game -1. I'm backing Scherzer. Market moving towards them. Bigger bets coming in on them. Look, Herman could be very good, and that is the risk that I must take here, that Herman could be very good, and I'll take it. All right, let's talk about those vaunted Blue Jays. Great stats from Jose Bouquett off the top of the show. The biggest dog Wainwright has ever been in his whole life by a landslide. Plus 165 was in 2007, as Jose told us, against Roy Oswalt. Now in 222, 15 years later, 40-year-old Adam Wainwright right now is at Bet365 a plus 220 dog. That's moved to minus 270.
It's going to keep going up. This is going to be the minus 300 fade that I do not take. It's going to get to minus 300 by my show. And I've told people I'm going to be more picky choosy about these. Here's the funny thing. I'm so glad that I was so right about the Blue Jays and Red Sox in these last 2-3 weeks. Like it has been just, I don't know. I'm not going to calculate. I should say how much money I've made on them, either fading them or backing them these last 2 weeks, but it's been crazy. It has just been like so easy to tell what this squad is like. And I've watched them quite a lot now recently, and it's been a little annoying, truth be told, because they're just having so much fun. And like you mentioned, when they were shit, they weren't having fun. All those guys were kind of poopy pants, all this stuff. Now they're back. They're having fun. George Springer, who I don't want to say anything too irrational here, but I think he's the most important Blue Jay on the squad. Like even if Vladdy were to go out, I still would like the Blue Jays a little more than if Springer went out, because I think he just brings so much.
I'm completely with you. 100% with you.
He's the straw that stirs that drink. Top of the lineup, hits the grand slam. He veteran savvy. He's really good in the postseason. He's one of the best postseason performers in baseball history. If you just go look at his numbers in the postseason, it is shocking to see. So it warms my heart that he shed the Astros label. And it really pisses me off at the same time. But this Blue Jay squad's a wagon, and I expect Waino to get fucking rocked tonight.
I can't move on the Jays at this price against Wainwright. I can't.
I'll be honest. I think only one man would be able to move on the Jays at this price, and we know who that is.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
Huh? Exactly. It's way too juiced. Team total maybe for the Jays. If it's a low total, I have it at an 8. I might have fucked up the graphics because but that is the actual total. It is an 8. So maybe a 4.5. Is it? Are they assuming that the Cardinals are not going to participate in this game offensively? A 3 for the Cardinals is a plus 105. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough to bet this game.
It's very tough to bet this game. Lee Davis on the other side. Bo Jackson taking his mom to the game tonight. Have a great time. It's his mom's birthday. Happy birthday to her. That's so you're lucky. You're so lucky you get to have this kind of time with your mom and soak it up. It's fucking cool, man. I love
By the
that.
way, another person that might be going to that game tonight, one Alex Pavone. I've been talking a lot to Pavy, apparently. A lot of Pavy talk today.
Look, I love the guy. I love him. Wainwright Gaussman. Wainwright, 6'8", 3.40 ERA, 1.24 whip, 116 in the third, 91 Ks, 34 walks, and 13 home runs. It is going to be beautiful again in Toronto today. Not that I ever get to step outside. Let's take a look at the weather in Toronto for this one. 73 Fahrenheit, 9.1 miles per hour out to center. Goes down to 8.5 to right field. So it's coming in off the lake in the north. Wainwright, last start, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 2 Ks, 3 walks, and a 9-5 loss at the Reds. His splits were fine last year. His splits were fine for most of this year. They've fallen apart. He's now getting touched on the road. 3-5, 4.81 ERA, 276 opponents batting average. Oh, much love, Bo Jackson. I just the older you get, the more you learn that really cherish the opportunities like you're going to have with your mom on your birthday at a ball game. That's just so cool. Let's take a look at the line history once more. We have, sorry, let me move this over. What the hell? Here we go. We have these Jays taking money and money and money and money. They opened up at minus 235. They're now minus 270. I saw them at minus 250 last night, and even that kind of surprised me. From a total perspective, it opened up at 8 as a pick 'em. There's a 5-cent move to the over. Let's go over to the cash here. We have 9,848 tickets in, 25% of the tickets and 42% of the cash on the Cardinals. 45% of the tickets, 81% of cash on the under. Man, I'm sure Lee Davis knows those numbers. That's 25 and 42, and that's added to the confidence for him. Gaussman, 7-7, 3 ERA. His last start was that 28-5 win at Boston. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 10 Ks, no walks. At home, he's been worse than on the road. At home, 3.67 ERA. But here's the big thing: 308 opponents batting average. Cards versus righties, 246, 709 OPS. Blue Jays are now the number 1 team in the league against righties over the season long. Haul, and we were waiting for that. I was waiting for that all year. Now they're 271 with a 782 OPS. Cards bullpen, 3.63 ERA, 1.24 whip. Before they got touched up last night, they were moving in the right direction. This is just a 2-game series, so we have the Tigers coming in tomorrow. Blue Jays bullpen, 4.01 ERA, 1.22 whip, 27-44 converted save.
That's sickening. That's sickening. The schedule maker is giving you this cake-ass schedule to open up the second half.
Well, we knew we had the toughest schedule in the league over the first 45 games. We knew that the tide would turn at some point, right?
Man, get your Blue Jays future. I've been saying it since the start of the All-Star, or the second half, I guess. Get your fucking Blue Jays futures in, man. It's crazy what they're doing right now. I'll keep saying it. They've got 2 fucking dog starters that will go game 1 and 2, and you'll feel confident in against everyone. Literally everyone. And then Jose Barrios, I think he sucks, but he's all right. And I've heard people saying that you need an extra starter. I typically don't think you do, but I'm thinking of only in the postseason. You're right about Ross the Boss Stripling. Who knows what he's going to give you for the rest of the season?
Nothing.
But it's just, it makes me so angry that this Blue Jays team is so good and they're just not being talked about right now. And it's so annoying. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Atkins does at the trade deadline.
And you know what? I'll say it truthfully. I think 30% of me really wants the Blue Jays to make the playoffs just to see what, like, I don't know, like an unvaxxed team would do. Like, I would just love to see all those guys get vaccinated the week before the postseason just to laugh a little bit. That would just make me warm my tummy a little bit.
There's no question about it. We have a big advantage with you not being allowed into Canada unless you're vaccinated.
Well, Jimmy, I would say the American teams also have a big advantage for the same rule as well.
Well, all of our guys are vaxxed.
There goes the advantage. It's not an advantage if everyone, it's just that simple. It'll make me mad. We all have our different opinions, obviously. But you guys can say it's a Canadian advantage, but America has the same thing too. So.
Yeah, we're seeing how important it is. It's huge. It's just huge. Getting to play the Cardinals without those 2 beasts in the middle of the lineup. I mean, getting to play the Royals without 10. I mean, it's enormous.
Well, you had to face the beast that is Angel Zerpa because of those COVID restrictions. So, I guess give and take.
Well, I'm off of this, far, far away from this. Let's talk about the last. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to know, the Jays are 22-1 to win the division right now on Bet365. 22-1.
What a joke!
I'm not gonna move on it. I have $200 on them to win the division. I don't even remember what I got. I've taken it as a loss. I bet the league and the championship twice, and it's gone down. Like you could have got to win the World Series at 17-1, and probably higher than that. I'd have to ask Dennis how high it got up to. It's 13-1 right now, but
it's going to go down when they start making additions to the trade deadline.
No doubt about it. Oh, this is your last chance to get on.
Yes.
Completely.
I saw someone, Bo Jackson said, wait until the trade deadline. I think the exact opposite. Bet it now before the trade deadline because I think they're going to add. They're absolutely going to add. Who are they going to add? Who knows? But they're going to add. I'm
completely with you. If you don't have any Blue Jays future, maybe you don't believe in them, which is fine. If you do,
they're just the best long shot. In long shot in quotations because they're not even a long shot, but I don't think the Yankees are going to do it. The Astros are obviously the prohibitive favorites, and that's really it.
And of course, here the Tigers score. Unfortunately, hate that Rob Free didn't catch that no-run first inning, but fucking Sammy Comer trying to get me to move on it, and I'm just.
And they're not out of the first inning either yet. By the way, it's 2-1. It's. Oh, no, they just got out. Darvish. So 1-0 after the first inning. So.
I don't. You know what it is. What it is. I'm not going to freak the fuck out, but you'll know. You guys will all know. When you start seeing me moving on those things, you'll be like, okay, he's a good capper now. No, he's being above average.
He's a good capper now. By the way, I think we skipped a game too.
Really?
We have 2 games left. Yeah, it's my AL East friends.
Which
one? Do we talk Rays Orioles? Drew Rasmussen, Tyler
You're
Wells.
right. You're absolutely right.
Because I've been seeing Beach Boss the whole fucking time saying Rays. I love G-Man Choi. Rays. And I've kept that in my head because I like the Rays as well. I like Rays team total over 4 -110 quick cap. Tyler Wells, I like him. I like him a lot. I've been backing him a lot. He's my Orioles pitcher of choice to back. He'd be their number 1, I guess, if they had a postseason start. But 4th start against the Rays this year on the 15th. He went 5 2/3, 3 earned runs, 6 hits. He's given up 3 earned runs the next time. And then his first start of the season, I think it was his very first start, he gave up 4 earned runs against them. So I'm taking team total over 4 for the Rays. I understand their Orioles bullpen is really, really, really good, surprisingly, but I'll take my chances. -110.
Okay, I'll line shop for you. Let's talk about it a bit, but the Tampa Bay Rays being back, there are some stats that make me uncomfortable with Drew Rasmussen, and those are his road numbers: 3-3, 4.15 ERA, 285 opponents batting average. He is coming off shutting down the Royals in Kansas City, so maybe he's starting to make amends. He's had a good year: 3.13 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. Tyler Wells, 6'8", 265 pounds on the mound. Coming off 7-6 loss at home versus the Yankees, he allowed 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks. I'm not as high on him as everybody else. Everybody else can be much higher on. If I've got a guy who's 6'8", 265 pounds on the mound, I want strikeouts and I want intimidation. I don't want him, getting soft contact and not being able to get the strikeouts when they need him. I don't like that. I want the intimidation factor. At home, he's got similar numbers as he has on the road. So not a big thing going on there. Rays only 236, 684 OPS versus righties. Orioles is 235, 694 OPS. And as you said, that Orioles bullpen being so good.
I hope they don't sell. I really hope they don't, but they are. I think
they'll sell. It's still okay to sell, I think, at this point.
Like Trey Mancini is going to be gone for sure. And you know what? Is this the Orioles' last home game till the trade deadline? Because I wanted to make the note that I need to bet on. Or I need to bet Trey Mancini props for his last Baltimore game because he's already come out this week with quotes saying, I kind of expect this to be my last week in Baltimore. I'm going to really try to soak everything in. I'm a sucker for those fucking storylines. I think that if it's not tonight or whenever this last game at Camden Yards is, I think that's bet on. I think that is the guy. That is the engine that's kept them going for the last 2 years.
They will be there again tomorrow. So I'll look beyond that, but I know that they will be in Baltimore again tomorrow. Interesting angle you have
Beautiful.
there. Let's take a look at the line history in Rays Orioles. Then we'll talk Red Sox Tribe and put a bow on this. Sorry, move over here. First off, though, Baltimore, Tampa, we have a 10-cent move to the Baltimore Orioles. They open up at plus 105. They get their minus 105 right now. From a total look, opened up at 8.5, now down to 8, but juice to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. T-Mac in the house. Great to see you, T-Mac. Let's take a look at the cash in this one. 8,713 tickets in. 49% of the tickets, 58% of cash on the Orioles. 68% of tickets, 78% cash on the over. And, what was that weather again? Sorry, let me just go back to that weather. I don't... Yeah, offensive weather against pitchers that are good. The bullpen is really good. I think if I was going to move on anything, it would certainly be expecting Rasmussen to not be great on the road and Tyler Wells just to continue to be below average. And if that's the case, then that first 5 over with this offensive weather would be appealing. We're talking about an 8, so they give me a 4. No, of course not. Fucking dicks. 4.5. Damn it.
It's a tough game. I agreed with you with the Drew Rasmussen road thing. That's why I took their team total. And I'm truthfully, I'm not 100% confident in this play, obviously, because the Rays offense has been just truly putrid. No Wander Franco. Their lineup is starting to, crumble a little bit. And I forgot, what is their losing streak at now? Because Orioles obviously doing their damn thing against them. They always fucking do stuff like this, so it's very funny. So a 4-game losing streak right now for the Tampa Bay Rays. I think it's got to break eventually, and they've seen Wells. Obviously, you could make the argument saying they've seen Wells, but it's not the same Tampa Bay lineup. They were healthier back then, et cetera, and I can hear that. But I'll say I like team total for Tampa Bay. And the best part about it is, like I said, I wrote it down at the beginning of the show. It was 4.5 minus 110 at the beginning of the show. Now it's 4.5 plus 110.
Wow. Okay. What are you making official here?
The Rays team total here. Let me see what I wrote down because I want to double check. Yeah, so the 4 is what I originally had written down at minus 110, and it's at minus 120. I don't love that. You know what? I'll take some time to think about it here in a second. I might like the over in this game in general as well, because Beach Boss, you know what? Beach Boss said he's covering all losses. So and he said the over. So you know what? Fine. Beach Boss, you tied my hands. And I'm going to do it. I'll take the over with you, over in this game in general. It makes a whole lot of sense to me. I think Wells gets touched up. So and Drew's just not good on the road, like you mentioned. And why put all my faith in one basket? So I'll take the over in this game.
Do you want the 8.5 at minus 102 or over 8 at minus 121?
I've got the 8 at minus 120. So I'll take my 1 cent of juice. Minus 120, obviously not my favorite price. You guys know that, and I do have a superstition with minus 120s, but I cashed 2 of them yesterday, so minus 120 over 8 here at minus 120.
I'm going to move on this first 5 over, and I hope that I can get it, because this first 5 over 4.5 is at minus 108, juice to the over at Pinnacle. It's still plus 100 at Bet 365, so I'd like to get in before that VIG goes away. So I'm going to move on the over 4.5. Okay, great work.
I have a lot of plays today, and my hands are sweating. I'll admit it.
O'Brien Palmer, $500 parlay, Philly at the half plus a half and under 5. God, get that, fucking get that, O'Brien. And I wish I had have gone through with it too. But as long as someone in the fam is eating off of it, then I can be happy with it. So get that shit. Get it. All right, final game on the board, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Guardians 49-47, 24-28 on the road at the Boston Red Sox, 49-49, 24-24 at home. We're at Fenway Park. What a roller coaster ride season it has been for these Bo Sox. 78 Fahrenheit, 5.9 miles per hour right to left. By the end of the game, it's blowing out to left field, out to the monster. Let's take a look at the line history in this Red Sox Tribe game. We have a 5-cent move to the Guardians, plus 115 to plus 110. From a total perspective, it opened up at 9. It's now at 8.5. Beach Boss, I'm going to move on the first 5, 4.5, but you don't need to cover my losses. If you cover Jose's, it'll be hysterically wonderful that I will.
I will fucking crack up if he sends me $100. My Venmo and my Cash App are the same exact thing as my @ name here. It's just a little hyphen in between for my Venmo. So let me know, Beach Boss. I believe in it. You don't gotta send me shit, my man. We're making money on that shit together. Don't you worry about that, Beach Boss.
I love having Beach Boss back in action with us. It's fun. Okay, so we talked about the line history, a slight move towards the Tribe and a slight move and a real move towards the under 9 to 8.5. So let's see if the cash follows suit with this final game on the card. Red Sox, Guardians. We have 20% line value on the Cleveland Guardians. 59% of the tickets, 69% of the cash. Then 71% tickets, 60% cash on the over. So some big bets have come in on the under, and they've moved it from 9 to 8.5. Nasty Nate says Red Sox smash.
Of course.
You guys
Come
are
on.
lucky. The Red Sox are lucky to have fans like Nasty Nate. Quantrill, 7-5, 3.75 ERA, 1.30 whip, 67 Ks and 105 2/3. Coming off a nice performance, Nate 2 win at the White Sox. I believe that was up against Giolito. 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk. On the road, he's been a little worse than he's been at home. Quite a bit worse. 2-5, 4.53 ERA, 308 opponent's batting average. Going up against Nate Eovaldi. I'm looking forward to hear a breakdown on Eovaldi coming off a disastrous performance at home versus the Jays. 2 2/3, 9 earned runs. He's now got a 6.98 ERA at Fenway with a 320 opponent's batting average. Guardians 263, 733 versus righties. Red Sox 252, 714. Guardians bullpen starting to pitch well again, and Red Sox bullpen giving up. Take it away here for us. What are your expectations on Eovaldi? What's your look on this game, Guardians, Red Sox?
Oh, man. Oh, man. This is going to be Nathan Eovaldi's last start with the Red Sox. And I'll tell you this. I fucking love Nathan Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi has been one of my favorite pitchers on the Red Sox. Truthfully, he's been much more favorable for me than Chris Sale. I can say that pretty confidently. The last 2-3 years, I've been on my Nathan Eovaldi is the ace of this staff. Nathan Eovaldi is good. Please respect Nathan Eovaldi. Now it seems like it's all over, and it really makes me sad. It truly does. I think, like I said, I think this will be his last start as a Red Sox in Fenway Park at least. Maybe I'll see him one more time in Houston. But he's a free agent after this year. He's going to get moved because the Red Sox are shit. Cal Quantrill has had success against the Red Sox, and he's lucky that Rafael Devers is on he's on the IL. There we go. Because Rafael Devers and him have like a mini rivalry because he was talking shit to Devers last time. But essentially, all this to say is that I'm going to keep fading the Red Sox. This is the game that I feel like everyone kind of waits for my opinion on because everyone knows I'm suspended from betting the Red Sox. And to no one's surprise, I've hit over 30 units now that I've been suspended betting the Red Sox and fading them actively. I don't believe in them here. I want to back them on Nate's last start, but I can't do it. He's had a trouble with the home run ball. Jim, I haven't had Ballpark Pal open all day. So you said it was a windy day in Boston?
No, it's light, very light wind. By 2 hours into the game, it starts blowing out to the monster, but it's light wind, 5.9, going right to left.
Okay, see, I mentioned that because Nathan's the biggest problem this year, and it was his strength last year. He's giving up home runs left and right. I think he's still second in the league in home runs. He had a little layoff, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's been passed by them. But he was second for a really long time in home runs in front of or behind Hunter Green. And it sucks. So I'm taking Guardians team total over 4 here. I need to double check the price. I had it at even money when the show started. So we will see here. It is Guardians. Guardians at minus 105. So a little shittier of a price, whatever. But I've got it minus 105. That's what I'll be betting here. I also don't hate the over, like Johnny Guns is saying. But it's just the issue. And I told this to Pete yesterday, and I think Pete lost his super juiced. Both teams score over 3. I don't know if it was a parlay or just a regular bet, but this offense for the Red Sox is just so bad. Dennis Eckersley, Hall of Famer, said that he hasn't seen a Red Sox offense this bad in a long time, and it's actually since the COVID year, so it's not been that long, but it's just putrid. It is horrible. Yolmer Sanchez, I'll keep saying Yolmer because he fucking is just the guy that I've been attacking recently. He's just a defensive guy. He sucks on the offense. Jaron Duran, putrid. JD Martinez back, but hasn't been playing well. Bobby Dahlback fucking sucks. Jackie Bradley Jr., though he's good at Fenway Park, he overall sucks. Just too many zeros in that lineup. Cleveland team total over 4. I should have taken the Guardians money line yesterday, but ultimately at the end of the day, I'll just keep thinking that the Red Sox give up runs here. Their bullpen doesn't install any confidence in me. If they go John Scribner, I still can't say his fucking name right from yesterday if you watch Say Hey Plays. If they go to John to Whitlock, again, like in game 1, obviously I'll feel a little shittier about my team total, but I don't know if they will. So I think this is just going to be a regular bullpen day with hoping the pieces come together. So team total over 4 for me.
And what was that? Because it's 3.5 over at Penny. What is the team total for you?
4 at minus 105 on Bovada. I'm assuming that your 3.5 is like a juice to like a minus 130-ish.
137.
Yeah, no thanks. I'll take the 4 and closer to even money.
Wow, it's amazing because Circus got it at 4. Oh, no, that was rather. Sorry, Cleveland team total. Wow. This is 3.5 at minus 125 for the Guardians.
Yeah, that's something that I would consider betting. Minus 125 is the limit. I think personally it doesn't matter. I'll take the 4.
Okay.
Even closer to juice. We all know that it's better to stay at close to even money, especially at a long baseball season. And I have all my odds like listed out in my long ass spreadsheet. I just don't have an average of what my odds are, and it's obviously it'll be super high because of the plus 300.
I wish you did. That's why I wish you had used the spreadsheets I gave you because it'd be even more impressive. I know you'd have a plus line and a real plus line.
Let me tell you, your spreadsheet was just too much for me. I was too much for my feeble brain. I have all the lines listed out, and if somehow I can figure out how to average them all out, that would be ideal. But at the end of the day, it doesn't. I'm okay not knowing because it might affect me mentally, anyways.
Is there any possibility here? And I'm sure there's some, but that Eovaldi has a great start, a bounce back start, and looks really good.
Let's see here. I want to pull up his Fangraphs real quick because obviously he came back from, I think it was a back injury as well. I think he also was having back spasms, but I can't remember exactly. His 2 starts have been against 2 fucking brutals squads, Yankees, Blue Jays. So you can see why he gave up those runs, but I need him to earn my trust back, truthfully. I really do. And he has not faced Cleveland this year. So that's a feather in his cap. Let's pull up his baseball reference.
By the way, your buddy Flash has joined us.
Oh, Flash Gordon?
Yeah.
Well, tell Flash Gordon. Shout out to Flash as always. I love Flash.
Yeah.
Arsenal finishing above Chelsea this year is one of my hot takes. I made a bet with one of my friends on that. Arsenal finishes 4th this year, my man. So there you go. Arsenal finishes 4th this year, and I will only bet the plus. Send me the spreadsheet. I'll send you the spreadsheet, no problem. Just DM me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett, and I'll DM it to you. I don't have a problem sharing the spreadsheet with anyone. It's not like an elaborate thing because I'm a big fucking dumb idiot and I don't know how to work all that stuff. But yeah, I have no problem sending it to you guys. It's a fun time. And by the way, Nathan Eovaldi against the Guardians, 3-2 with a 3.47 ERA. Last year, he went 2-start against them with an almost 4 ERA at 3.86. So I just think that he gives up some runs.
I mean, God, I would like to. I don't want to leave money on the table, but I'm surprised there hasn't been a bigger move to the Guardians when all this money's coming on them. And oh shit, that's Thursday. Damn it. So I'm a little surprised at the situation. I would have expected this. Why would they be offering a plus money here if so Eovaldi gets destroyed against the Jays. He doesn't throw a ton of pitches, right? And then his last start at home was a complete game. 2 earned runs in 9 innings against the Orioles. I'm not going to bet. I'm going to stay off this spot. I'm going to stay off of it. I'm not going to bet the over either. If Boston's lineup is poor, and then you don't trust Boston's offense, and it's possible that Eovaldi has a really nice start here, in my estimation. Sun Dizzle in the house. Catch Sun Dizzle and I at Woodbine this Saturday. Sun Dizzle got a corporate in Toronto flying into town. There's a new Stella Artois patio that's being built. They'll be our first time checking that out, Sun Dizzle. I have made reservations. So
wow, look at you.
Yeah, when it comes to the horses and a beautiful Saturday, the only thing that could stop these reservations from happening is if I'm too drunk. Sun Dizzle.
And that is a possibility. By the way, real quick, I found I didn't find it. I pulled up my spreadsheet real quick, and I just sent it in the chat if you guys want to look at it. It's not a complicated thing. I just found it on fucking the Google machine. So if you want to look at it, go ahead. I made you guys viewers, so you guys can't change the goddamn spreadsheet. So if I made that mistake, don't fucking change my shit, please. But yeah, shout out to Sun Dizzle, of course. I hope to see him in October. I want more Sun Dizzle in my fucking life. I want Sun Dizzle in my life the maximum amount of possible. And by the way, Sun Dizzle wasn't here for the beginning of the show. Sun Dizzle, Jimmy the Bag, and I are going to do a series of TV shows and movies together. Here's one of them. Here's a good one. We use this one today. I think we will look really good in this one. I'm always a big bow tie guy. And then the weirder ones have come in later today with Perfect Strangers, which again, I really like. Jimmy can't even look at it. That's how embarrassed of it he is. And then of course, this one takes the cake. I didn't make this one, but this one's just beautiful. This is just beautiful. I couldn't have laughed any harder at the beginning of the show. So this is, man. Might show this to my mom.
All right. Let's review all action. Here. Certainly left money on the table, Braves and Phillies. The breakdown was nice. Then we have the Taint play of the day. San Diego, Detroit, full game under 7.5. Off to a good start. Oh, God. 2:10 p.m. When he made me the first one from All in the Family.
Which you asked for.
I did ask for it.
I would like to remind everyone, I didn't ask for any of this.
It was the Archie Bunker. I was on heavy edibles and I did ask for it. But when you made it, I was like, oh, we can't do this. We can't send that.
Why not?
I knew right away. At least I knew right away.
Good. My hand on your shoulders? Caressing you?
Let's stay focused.
Kind of like this?
Oh God. Come on, let's stop.
Yeah, we're focused. We're focused.
Brewers team total over 4.5. I'm going to move on. I'm going to take one last look, but I expect to move on it. Then Mr. Gokster's action. White Sox first 5 money line. San Diego, Detroit, no run first inning. That got bucked by you, Darvish. And then Dodgers to score first. White Sox, Rockies, we are off. Jose gets his card started with some bombs. Nats first 5 plus 207. Nats full game plus 228. Nats team total over 3.5 at plus 135. Then we're both on the A's first 5 plus a half. Jose got plus 115. I bet my shit now I'm going to get minus 110, which is
plus 105. Oh no, actually that was my line.
Yeah, it was your line, but we did find you plus 115.
You're right.
Pimp slap play today is Colorado Rockies first 5 plus a half.
When's the last time you got pimp slapped? I'd say never for me.
Oh no, I've been slapped a couple times.
But pimp slapped?
Well, not by a actual pimp.
No, but backhand.
Well, I don't think, because I think that part of that's a pimp slap.
To me, a pimp slap is a backhand. There's a lot more disrespect with a backhand.
Yeah, but with that part of the
That just hurts more.
yeah, you can knock someone harder, man. Nice, Mark Tequila using the -1 calculator. Beautiful. Great
that.
work. Anyone who wants it, we have it here. Pimp Slot play today. Colorado first 5 plus a half. Then we're both on the A's first 5 plus a half. I'm moving on St. Louis, Arizona first 5 under 4. Jose's on the Giants first 5 minus a half at +124. Jose's on the over 8 in Rangers, Mariners at -107. I'm going to be on the Rangers first 5. I have some juice issues there. I've got to figure that out. Spreadsheet play today is the Cincinnati Reds, but Jose and I both stayed off Marlins Reds. I'm going to double up on the New York Mets first 5 minus a half, full game -1.
Meet the Mets.
Jose is on Tampa Bay, Baltimore over 8 at -120. I'm going to move on the Tampa Bay, Baltimore first 5 over 4.5. I am scared of these bullpens. Cardinals, Blue Jays, no action for us. Jose finishes his card with the Guardians team total over 4 at -105. There you have it. Jose, 5:30 p.m. late show here on Pub Sports Radio. We'll break down those 4 games, and there'll be a lot of new information.
Will there?
Well, yeah, because of the line, the
You're
public. I love seeing the public come in and change where the percentages and tickets are.
You're right about that. It's going to be interesting. We broke these games down to its fullest extent, and it'll be a 6-game say hey play. It'll be just me. It'll be very quick. I can guarantee that. But it'll be fun. And then tomorrow is when the fun starts.
Jesus, does this change anything for us? From Ron Walsek, it's Mad Max's birthday today.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're already on the Mets. I'm not on them, but I like that. I like that
you
look.
Want to say bye? Somebody wants to come here and say bye to all you guys.
Yes, he's got the fakest eyes in the business. He also is a very good handicapper of himself. He picks hats and gets wins. You know, Carter, a big camo guy. Loves the camo. Apparently.
Yeah, he loves the camo.
Yeah. I'm sure he's making those decisions.
Thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you for all your support. Mike M. Johnny Guns says, love the show today, gents. Good work, Leche. We don't force it. He does it all naturally. If he doesn't pick a hat, then he doesn't like anything today. He also believes in the we don't give out picks for no reason. He says we make money here, and we're here to make money indeed. Shout out to him. Rob Free, is the inning over? Phillies just scored 5 in the bottom of the half of the 5th. Is it a push for O'Brien?
5. Nope. 5 in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out left.
Oh my good God! Is anybody on base? All right, you guys. The decision has been made. The Padres are going to come back. You might want to live bet the.
Yep. Hold on. Let me see what the live odds are real quick.
You might need to live bet the Padres. Oh God, that will break my heart if O'Brien doesn't get this here. Yeah. Stinka, all you guys, Alex Gagnon. Great to have Rob Walsek rolling with us. A1, Sun Dizzle, Bo Jackson, AOD, T-Mac, Coco Bongo. It was great to have Beach Boss back in action. The community of new knowledge, AOD, one more time. And Flash was joining us. A lot of great cappers. Thank you. Uh-oh. The Angels. The Angels don't play. Angels are the one team that's off today, right?
Thank God. The Marlins or the Pirates are also off too.
Okay.
My iPad officially died. But 130, actually 145, you can get the Padres at right now. So I like that look. Shout out to Carter.
Yeah, Carter looking at a live bet for the Padres. On behalf of all of us here at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys so much for your support. Jose, I enjoyed this immensely, breaking down the card for you. Our first 3-hour show in some time. On behalf of all of us, everyone here, Jeff Slaughter and all of us, thank you guys for your support. Jose, you want to let us out of here?
Sure. Before I go, quick plug. Like I said, say hey plays. Of course, 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central. No guests today, but you can always see these lovely images as always. Does Carter have any opinion on these?
I do not want him to see it.
Okay, fair enough, Carter. We will shield your eyes to that. We will show you it when you're older. Tomorrow, it's coming up quickly. Tomorrow night. Foxy Boxing, Diamond Show Club. Yeah, now he's interested. Now he's excited. Oh, yeah, Carter. Diamond Show Club, Foxy Boxing back in action for us. I'll be there live calling the fights, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. fights. Thank you, Carter. I know exactly. He is excited about the fights. They will be live on Pub Culture Radio, too. So tune in then. It'll be a fun time for sure. Me, Cecilia, and of course, stuff like this. Stuff like this will get us back in the action.
Oh boy, do we call it black?
I knew it. I told you.
Exactly. Carter liked the violence there, and we will see you guys mañana. Little big ragu action, little say hey play action with Clint tomorrow. It's gonna be a fun time. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers.
Say bye.